Well, welcome in. Fastball Friday here on the Morning Rush and a tie-free Friday. Ty's out today. Chuck will be along in just a little bit. Got the guys here in the studio with me. Big C, Colton, we're all here ready to go, and hope you are. If you're like me, you're a little bit groggy. You're a little bit behind this morning because you stayed up late for what was a weather-delayed start for the Razorbacks. You heard the call from Phil right there. What we had wondered was not if, but when Hagen Smith was going to break the all-time strikeouts record he did last night in the fifth inning. And we have a new strikeout king, as Phil described it. Now, here's what you might know until you woke up this morning, or maybe you're going to find out with all of us that didn't stay up late last night. The Hogs lost 1-0 in 11 innings. It was a classic pitcher's duel and really a great outing by both starting pitchers, but in particular Hagen Smith, who struck out 14 of the 21 batters he faced over 6 innings. The A&M ace was good, but not equally as good, but both did what counted, and that was kept runs off the board and didn't give away free bases. But Ryan Prager went 7 innings last night. And that's the stark difference when looking at the box score this morning. Not the starting pitching, but the number of arms Arkansas threw versus the 2 arms that A&M threw. Last night, Arkansas had 3, 4, 5, 7 different pitchers to complete the game last evening. Prager, by the way, his line, 1 walk. He had 9 strikeouts in the 26 batters he faced. No runs on 5 hits. By the way, Hagen Smith, not just 14 strikeouts, but no runs. 2 hits. 2 hits last night. We'll get into the details of what happened late in the game. Arkansas essentially, with Will McIntyre on the bump, not essentially, they walked in the winning run in the bottom of the 11th, and that was the only run scored in the game last night as Faraday, Coyle, and McIntyre all walked one there in the last frame for the Razorbacks. That's where we'll get to. Scott Tabor's going to join us in just over an hour. We'll talk about last night's game, also the upcoming 2. Arkansas has to win one of the next 2 to claim the Western Division of the Southeastern Conference. Arkansas now sits at 42-11, 19-9 in SEC play, while the Aggies improved to 43-10, 1 game better than the Hogs, and 18-10, a game back of the Razorbacks in the SEC West. So I want to begin with that because that's the Razorback news. But if you've been up a little while, you've had a cup of coffee or 2, this news on Scottie Scheffler, have you seen this morning? Unbelievable stuff for the world's #1 golfer. And I know we don't normally talk golf in segment 1, but it is the PGA Championship this week. And the thumbnail sketch of this is Scottie Scheffler attempting to enter Valhalla Country Club this morning, has been detained by the Louisville police after trying to go around a security setup at the main gate to Valhalla. And all of this was a large police presence that was near the gate because of a accident prior to Scheffler trying to enter the golf course somewhere near the entrance that involved a vehicle and a pedestrian that resulted in a fatality. Now, Jeff Darlington has been the one reporting this for ESPN. We've been following his tweets and his reporting. But the world's #1 player, Scottie Scheffler, there's video of him in handcuffs being detained. And we were watching SportsCenter live and trying to get the very latest right as to the second to the moment we went on the air. Tee times have already been delayed, not because of Scheffler, but because of this accident that apparently has everybody delayed getting to the course this morning. But the news is the world's #1 player, there is reasonable doubt to believe he will not play today and not make his tee time, which would therefore knock him out of
the PGA Championship today. Interesting story. We're going to follow this as we go along, but could change the landscape of that. I don't know how many of you listening are glued to the PGA Championship. I watched bits and pieces yesterday, and I'm a pretty avid golf fan. Xander Schauffele had tied a low round in a major yesterday at 9 under par with a 62, but that's not the story. The story is the world's number one player may have to withdraw or, I guess, be disqualified if he misses his tee time today. We'll see what happened. Now, the report is that Scheffler was at the gate attempting access and then moved about 10 feet past a police officer who then, the report was, attached himself to the car, which to me, I interpret that as he was hanging on to the car, banged and got Scottie to stop the car within about 10 yards of that. And then the police officer aggressively removed, is how it was reported, Scottie Scheffler from the car. That he was then, shortly after that, placed in handcuffs and put in the back of a police car and was still, as of moments ago, somewhere near the main gate of Valhalla Country Club in the back of what I presume to be Louisville police car. I don't know if it's a county police car, state, I don't know that, but in the back of a police unit. The video we saw that was on SportsCenter, he was in gym shorts and a T-shirt, it appeared. Some kind of workout type clothing. But apparently golfers and their coaches were going to be allowed on the grounds, even though no one else was being given access at that point to Valhalla. Now, apparently there's only one way in and one way out to this place, and traffic is backed up for miles. And that's the reason for the delayed tee times. We're going to keep an eye on this because obviously the narrative for the weekend changes dramatically. Of the Masters champion and the world's number one player is not going to be in the field for the rest of the weekend. That's one thing we'll get to. We'll look at all the other SEC baseball scores from last night, get you ready for tonight's second night. I always said round two, but it essentially is, of SEC play. We'll look at the NBA playoffs. The Timberwolves just completely thrashed the Nuggets last night, 115-70. That series now tied at 3 and goes to the deciding game 7. And we'll look ahead to the Thunder and the Mavs that are coming up this weekend as well. So we'll take your calls and get you into the program. Chuck's going to jump in the next segment. We'll talk some Arkansas baseball. Also yesterday, Sam Pittman was with us for a while. I thought we had a really good conversation in the 7 o'clock hour. If you missed any of that, we'll relive some of what I thought were the best comments from Coach and bring those along to you as well. Hey, we're brought to you by the famous Yum Dinger. It's made by Pradco in their Fort Smith plant. They make them in 3, 4, 5, and 6-inch sizes. If you're going out this weekend, those fish are coming off the spawn or have been off the spawn. Bass are biting big time right now. We're going to have great weather for the weekend. Make sure you have the Yum Dinger in your tackle box and on your boat, tied on, ready to go. Use it with a wacky rigging on that 5-inch model. You're going to find it to be great for this weekend. Find it at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. It's the Yum Dinger, made by Pradco. All right, we'll continue to follow this Scottie Scheffler story. This is interesting because we've never really seen something like this in golf. We've seen Tiger be involved in accidents. We've seen things, but we've never seen a player, to my knowledge, arrested trying to enter the golf course for particularly a round of a major tournament. So this is something worth following. All right, the McClarty Daniel hotline is open, 877-377-6963. You can call or text us there. You can watch us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and all of our social platforms this morning. And we'd love to hear from you as we get ready for a big weekend coming up. It's the Morning Rush, 10 after 6. Glad you're here on a Fastball Friday.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Ad paid for by the Sentinel Group. Attention Marines, military personnel, families, and contractors who were stationed at Camp Lejeune. Were you present at Camp Lejeune between August 1953 and December of 1987? You may be entitled to significant compensation. For nearly 34 years, those in the Marine Corps' base Camp Lejeune were exposed to contaminated drinking water, resulting in devastating injuries, including several forms of cancer, adverse birth outcomes, Parkinson's disease, and more. North Carolina's procedural laws have prevented victims from getting the justice they deserve, but passage of the Camp Lejeune Justice Act of 2022 would allow you or a loved one to file lawsuits seeking compensation for illnesses and injuries linked to the toxic water. Call today for your free consultation. 800-532-4724. Let our experienced attorneys fight to get you the compensation you deserve, and you pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call 800-532-4724. That's 800-532-4724. Again, 800-532-4724.
This is the Morning Rush.
Touchdown, Hogs!
Do you need help with your next project? Metters Lumber True Value is here to help. A family-owned business since 1936, the staff has more than 90 years of experience in construction and the hardware business. If they don't have what you need, they know how to get it, and they are more than happy to accommodate your special order. So whether it's building a new deck, a paint project around the house, or needing a new set of tools, Metters Lumber True Value has everything you need. With locations in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville, and you can shop online at metterslumber.com. Metters Lumber True Value.
It's a party in the parking lot. Camping World with locations in Van Buren and Podo is the place to be. Take the summer off from payments, 0 down and no payments for 90 days. There will be special pricing for this parking lot event on new and used RVs, starting as low as $13,999. You can save up to 70% on select retail items. There's something for everybody, so come on out for the food and fun at the party in the parking lot at both Camping World locations in Van Buren and Podo, May 16th through the 18th, and in Van Buren on the 19th.
I'm Jim Cash III, owner of the Diamond Center. I invite you to come visit us for all your jewelry needs, including celebrations, purchases, repurposing, or jewelry repairs. The Diamond Center offers the largest selection of engagement rings in the area, along with complete custom design for all those special occasions. My family's legacy in jewelry goes back 4 generations. We strive for excellent customer service, integrity in our pricing, and jewelry of the very best quality and craftsmanship. This is all backed by our exclusive free lifetime warranty. Come see us at the Diamond Center, celebrating a legacy of love.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news about our first ever trade-in acquisition event. We need your trade, so now through Memorial Day, get your state sales tax paid when you trade for any one of our road-ready certified vehicles. That's right, state sales tax paid when you trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With the never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Call Randy Milam in Alma or Brandon Zimmerman in Bartley.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Sportsman's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Woo pig suey, and it's fantastic when people call it. Now, if things aren't going well, sometimes they yell woo pig fooey, and that isn't real good. That's bad luck. Calling hogs, they go suey.
Here's the pitch. He struck him out looking with a slider on the outside corner. There is a new career strikeout king at the University of Arkansas, and it's Hagen Smith.
Do you want to watch the Morning Rush, Halftime, even Ruskin and Zach? Find our live video stream on Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, and Twitch. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio.
I would imagine everyone would trade that strikeout record last night for a win. Hogs lose 1-0 in 11 innings. Chuck Barrett here in just a second. We'll talk about the game last night. This breaking news this morning that's less than an hour old with the world's #1 golfer in Scottie Scheffler, who has been detained by police earlier within the last half hour or so at the main gate at Valhalla. We'll give you some details on that all coming up here in just a second. We're talking about everything going on for the weekend. If you haven't downloaded the Bet Saracen app, be sure and do that. Whether it's the NBA playoffs and you want lines for that, and the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Mavs, or anything else involving the NBA playoffs, the PGA Championship, those odds may change, and some of those bets will change over the weekend. They'll have that there for you as well. Plus, always unique and different lines that you'll find on Arkansas sports that you won't find anywhere else but at the Bet Saracen app. So download it now, Apple App Store or wherever you get your apps. And be sure and go to betsaracen.com, watch that really neat video of how to use it and how to get the most enjoyment out of it. It's the Bet Saracen app, Arkansas's #1 sports betting app. Chuck, good morning.
Good morning.
Late night for most of us. I made it to the 10th. And I don't know what happened. Someone shut my eyes about bottom of the 10th, somewhere in there, and I woke up this morning, like probably most of us that are listening at 15 after 6, that may not have made it to the very end of the ball game. Hogs walk in the winning run in what was a classic pitcher's duel, 1-0. We heard the highlight. Hagen Smith gets the record, but still the news is the Hogs don't get it done in the end in a great college baseball game.
Yeah, it was a heartbreaker. I went to sleep in the 7th and just got done a few moments ago. Just finished watching the rest of the game. With 1 out in the 11th, Arkansas had struck out 19 batters and hadn't walked anybody. And walked a guy with 1 out, had a hit, ended up intentionally walking a guy, and then McIntyre walked in the winning run, and A&M won the ball game. And it was Arkansas really hit the ball hard in the 11th inning. They had 2 or 3 balls, 4 really, if you count the foul ball Helfrich hit. They had 4 balls right on the nose in the top of the 11th inning, but they couldn't get that. They couldn't get that run home. They struck out twice with runners at first and third and looked really bad doing it, quite honestly. Their pitcher just carved Stovall and Sprague-Lott apart. I mean, he just carved them up.
Yeah.
And disappointing loss. And you got to try to find a way to come back and win the game tonight. And I'm glad it's a night game. I'm glad this, wasn't a Friday night game, and then you come back and play day game on Saturday because long night, a lot of people pitched, and it was a disappointing loss.
Something you haven't seen this year, and that's how the Hogs rebound off a loss from a game that Hagen Smith started. He's had some no decisions, but he didn't get the loss last night, but they lost the game that he started, which is certainly no indication on his performance, obviously, but how the team rebounds from that, we've not seen before.
Well, it's quite honestly, I think some of that stuff for us as fans, we've become conditioned to believe they're going to win the first game of that series. And then when they don't, it's like, oh, no. I mean, and I kind of feel that, and I think everybody kind of feels that this morning. I really think from a player's perspective, though, success or failure tonight is going to probably have more to do with how A&M pitches and how Arkansas hits. I found it interesting this week, and I just have to say this. I wanted to say it earlier this week, and I didn't, and I probably should have. We spent way too much time talking about the pitching this week. What's gotten this team between a rock and a hard place is not pitching. It's the inability to get the timely hit and drive in runs. That's why they're in the spot that they're in right now. They got to hit the ball better. They got to get runs home. Now, look, every team does this. I watched us do it last night. A&M did it. But, I mean, my gosh, with 2 strikes, don't be afraid to shorten your stroke a little bit. I mean, you got guys swinging so hard with 2 strikes, their helmets are falling off. I mean, it's incredible. And it happens on both sides. It's not just Arkansas. A&M did the same thing, too. That's part of the reason guys like Hagen Smith strike out as many as they do, because guys are swinging for the downs on 2-strike pitches. It drives me insane. But that's my immediate takeaway after watching the end of it today.
All right, we'll get deeper into the baseball conversation. We'll take your calls and text on the McClarty Daniel hotline. I want to get to this story. We only got a few minutes, and I know you're just finding out about it this morning, but Scottie Scheffler, the world's #1 player, I think 5 off the lead. I think he shot 4 under. 9 under's the lead with Xander Schauffele. That's immaterial to what we're going to tell you next if you're just finding out like the rest of us. Within the last hour or so, there was a accident, not involving Scottie Scheffler, but an accident with a vehicle and a pedestrian that resulted in a fatality near the one and only entrance, apparently, at Valhalla Country Club. Traffic was backed up for miles, and players were going to be allowed in, but apparently there's some kind of misunderstanding, miscommunication. Scheffler was entering the club. Police officers attempted to stop him. He didn't stop. They banged on his car. They got him to stop, and now he is being detained in handcuffs outside of the gate at Valhalla, the world's #1 player, which brings, at least a reasonable doubt whether or not he'll make his tee time today, Chuck.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a strange deal.
Yeah.
We don't know enough about it yet to know exactly what's happened. I don't know.
All the reporting we have watched this morning is from Jeff Darlington with ESPN. He's got tweets on it, and he's on SportsCenter as the crew that's at Valhalla. I don't know how they got in, but they got into the grounds. And so we're getting some very early reporting on this, and Colton and Big C are keeping an eye on this story to see if anything develops, because wouldn't surprise.
Well, this could be as simple as he tried to drive by a cop that told him to stop.
That's exactly what happened, apparently, from the reporting.
And he may or may not have had anything to do with this at all.
So
he just evidently didn't stop when they told him to stop.
So, but as of right now, that's the latest reporting. We'll keep an eye on that. All right, Sam Pittman joined us yesterday. We're going to go back to some of that conversation and more on Razorback baseball coming up. And your calls and text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Thanks for being here on the Morning Rush, and make sure you have the Hit That Line Now app. Download it now in the Apple App Store.
Make sure you're subscribed to the Hit That Line Podcast Network. If you do, the podcast will automatically download to your phone. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to your favorite shows.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is the Morning Rush.
Touchdown, Razorbacks!
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Hey, this is Dr. Charlie Liggett with River Valley Smile Center. We dial 782-8940.
Coach Todd Holland, head baseball coach of the University of Arkansas Fort Smith Lions. I call 782-8940.
Stay cool this summer with a York high-efficiency HVAC unit. Or for more information on endless hot water and high-efficiency tankless water heaters, give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Hi, this is Garen Armstrong with Shamrock Roofing and Construction. That small roofing company my father started 45 years ago has now become one of the largest roofing companies in America by following one rule, the golden rule. No one can install a better roof at a better price, a better warranty than Shamrock Roofing and Construction. Let our local family serve your family. Shamrock Roofing and Construction. Call today or visit us online at shamrockroofer.com.
The Solid Rock has been locally owned for over 46 years. When was the last time you were there? So much more than a bookstore. They have Christian t-shirts, church supplies, Bible studies, devotionals, home decor, gifts, and of course, a large selection of Bibles. And Bibles are engraved free of charge while you wait. Now, you can get custom laser engraving on select gift items and some Bibles. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th, the Solid Rock is your source for faith-based books, music, clothing, and more. Don't forget to shop for Father's Day at the Solid Rock.
The tailgating scene on a perfect fall day in the natural state. Calling the Hogs with 75,000 plus as the Razorbacks run through the A. And all the things you love about football game days are near. Football season tickets are now on sale for marquee matchups against Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss, and longtime rival and new SEC foe, Texas.
Slant, caught, touchdown, Arkansas.
Experience game day on the Hill and secure your seat and tailgating space by visiting ArkansasRazorbacks.com or by calling the Hogs at 800-982-HOGS.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Netflix is always the one I go back and forth on. I like having it when I want it, but let's be honest, there's a lot of really crummy movies on Netflix. And sometimes you spend more time looking for something to watch.
All right, glad you're here Friday morning, getting you ready for the weekend. Ty is off. I'll give you one guess where he's at. Yeah, a wedding. That's right. Yeah, so Ty not here. Chuck and me are holding down the fort. We'll do the best we can. I don't know if we can get our game up to Ty's level, but we will certainly try. Hey, when it's time to spruce up your existing home or even build a brand new one, you can trust the experts at Farm Credit of Western Arkansas to help you choose the right financing options that are best for you and your family. Visit myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com, or drop by any of their convenient 25 locations across Arkansas. That's Farm Credit of Western Arkansas. Get started on building more family memories in your dream home with Farm Credit of Western Arkansas. 1-0. A&M beats the Hogs last night. The winning run for A&M was walked in the 11th inning. And, Chuck, a heartbreaking finish to what was really a great classic pitcher's duel last night. Hagen Smith sets the new record for all-time career strikeouts. I was also reading this morning he is 5 strikeouts away from the single-season record. So when he is done in just 3 seasons, he is probably going to own all of the strikeout records in the Arkansas Media Guide and Record Book.
Yeah, good for him. I mean, I think that's great. I wish they'd won the game, and I'm not minimizing what he did. But to me, the takeaway is that you need to come back and win the game tonight. And been a lot of great pitchers here, and I know it sounds like I'm minimizing it. I'm not. But Arkansas. Arkansas's got to find a way to get back on track offensively. There's some holes in that lineup right now. And, I made this comment in the last half hour. I mean, sometimes you've got to change your approach a little bit with 2 strikes. And I know it's easy to sit here and say this the morning after, just watching it from afar. I've been around it enough to know there's a lot more to it than just simply saying you've got to change your approach. There are so many great pitchers out there right now, and there were a bunch of them on display last night. There are future big leaguers in both bullpens, both dugouts, both starting pitchers. I mean, all of them have a chance to pitch in the big leagues. Hitting's really, really hard right now, but you can't help them. I mean, you can't chase and can't swing for the downs with 2 strikes the way a lot of them do. But disappointing loss. Got to come back, find a way to score some runs tonight.
How about Ty Wilmsmeyer last night? He started in center field, got on base a couple times, 2 hits on 4 at-bats.
He didn't hurt him.
No, he
didn't hurt him.
That's a highlight for what we have seen from him at the plate. He's been lifted out of center field because of lack of productivity, at the plate, and I thought he had one of his better nights last night.
Well, here's the thing. It's again, the pitching is so good. I think we are desensitized to how good the pitching is in college baseball now. It dominates the hitters. It's not just better. Good pitching's not just better than good hitting in college baseball. It dominates it in every way, shape, or form. And it certainly did last night. And may again tonight.
Yeah. So let's go back to the end of the game, because probably a lot of people listening right now were like us. They were well asleep by the time the 11th inning rolled around. We mentioned a moment ago the winning run was walked in by the Razorbacks with Will McIntyre in, but it wasn't just on McIntyre. There was an intentional walk earlier in that inning, a walk prior to that, and that's what set it all up to unfold for A&M's win.
Well, here's what happened. First off, in the top of the 11th inning, Arkansas had a chance. Aloy lined out hard to short to begin the at-bat. McLaughlin gave it a ride, got a double. They had Holt did a nice job with 2 strikes. They had opportunities there, but they struck out with runners, with a man at third base and less than 2 out. They struck out twice and couldn't get the run across. And A&M comes up, and I'm doing this from memory. Faraday recorded the Hogs' 19th strikeout of the night without a walk. And A&M, by the way, came into the game second in the country in walks drawn. But he walks a guy, and this was with one out. And then they got a hit. They change pitchers. Coyle comes in and strikes out a guy and then walks a guy. And so they bring McIntyre in, and I think he missed with 3 straight. I think it was
3-1 is what it says here.
Yeah.
Strike and then 4 balls in a row.
Yeah, strike and then 4 balls in a row. And Schlossnagle said after the game, he said, I gave him the take sign on 3-1. I was going to make McIntyre throw 2 strikes in front of this crowd. The one thing that I thought about when the game was over last night, because I do think the 12th man played a role. I think the crowd played a role in the bottom of the 11th inning. In fact, I'm sure it did. I was reminded of what I said yesterday. After this weekend, this is the last hostile environment that you're going to play in. But I thought it got pretty hostile in the last of the 11th last night.
Yeah, and it from what you could see watching the game, I think due to the late start, it wasn't a full house. They'd brought in extra bleachers and put in more seating in anticipation of what is going to end up being a great series, I believe, between 2 top 5 teams. But Chuck, the weather and the late start really didn't keep Bluebell Park from probably being as good as it will be today and tomorrow.
No, it'll be full tonight and tomorrow. It was noisy at the end. Everybody there, they don't leave. I'll give them that. They don't leave. Their crowd was affected, just like ours would have been affected, just like anybody's would have been affected by the weather last night. I applaud them for getting the game in. We talked yesterday about how if they could even start by 8:30, they'd probably try to get it in to avoid playing a doubleheader on Friday. So I don't know what they're paying their grounds crew down there, but it's not enough because they got 4.5 inches of rain, or 4 inches of rain about 3.5 hours. And you couldn't really tell it watching the game on television. So I give them a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, they spent, $60 million, I think, on building that stadium 4 years ago or whatever it is. I know Arkansas has pumps underneath their outfield and underneath the field to drain the water. I'm sure A&M has a similar setup. But I heard Tom Hart mention that while you couldn't hear it on TV, that the A&M center fielder was coming in to play a ball. You could hear from the press box the sloshing in the outfield from where the water was still there below the grass.
I kept looking for fishtails on some of those balls that were hit into the outfield. I never saw any. The infield had a spot or two. Their pitcher tried to, pivot and throw on a swinging bunt and lost his footing. But other than that, I didn't think the conditions had any bearing whatsoever on the outcome of the game.
Hogs get 9 hits last night, but don't play to run. A&M only gets 5 hits in the ball game, but the 1 run is the difference. And Arkansas will have to regroup for the first time. We were mentioning this a few minutes ago. First time this year that you lost a game that Hagen Smith started. Now he doesn't get tagged with the loss, but you got to figure out a way tonight to rebound from that.
See, I don't, and this is going to sound maybe counter to what a lot of people think. I think you just go play tonight, and I think you just go play tomorrow. You're not going to win the SEC overall. Kentucky and Tennessee aren't going to lose 2 straight. Best you can do is tie it. It's not going to happen. You may win the West. You may not. What you got to do is get back to playing winning ball. You got to drive in runs from third base with less than 2 out. You got to get the ball into the outfield. You can't strike out. Just got to get the ball in play. You're not going to play before a hostile environment again after this weekend. Go play. Work on the things that are hampering you right now. Try to get some offense going. Try to continue to pitch well. And I know I'm making it sound simplistic. I get that. But stop thinking about all this other stuff. Stop worrying about where you're going to be seated nationally. Don't let our conversation as fans bleed into your conversations as a team. They're 2 totally separate things, and they should never be intertwined. So just go play. Go out there and play some good ball tonight. If you win, you win. Go play good ball tomorrow. If you win, you win. Go down there at Hoover. Play good ball. come back home and let's get ready for the real thing.
Interesting result. LSU beat Ole Miss. I think that's a pivotal series. Georgia with the win. Who are the teams you think are on the brink? Ole Miss, I know what their RPI is. It's 24, I think, entering last night. But I think they're a team that's right on the cut line. We were talking about Florida earlier during the break and their overall record. The SEC's in a good position to maybe get 10 or 11 teams in the field.
I think they'll get 10. I don't know if they'll give them more than that. I know they say that we don't put a cap on how many bids a league gets, but, there's some unspoken stuff there too. Florida's on the outside looking in. First off, you got to be above 500. I don't care what your RPI is, and all the SEC teams, say for Auburn and Missouri and Alabama, really have good RPIs, and they've got cases to make. But I'm inclined to think Ole Miss is on the outside looking in. I'm inclined to think that Florida's on the outside looking in. I think Alabama's getting close to the cut line. I still think they're in, but they lost to Auburn last night. They don't need to lose this series to a bad Auburn team, and maybe go down to the tournament and lose one or two, and that'd be it. I think they put themselves in danger there. So I would say 10, maybe 9, possibly 11, somewhere in that window.
Question is how many are going to host, and I think the other question is Georgia played their way into being a top 8 national seed at this point. You talk about how many seats are at the table. I think Georgia's probably on the outside of that because Kentucky, Arkansas, A&M, Tennessee, to me, are damn near locks for the top, 4 of the top 8 spots.
Well, they are locks, and Georgia's not going to crack that group. Now Georgia may end up being the 10th seed.
Yeah.
They're going to get a regional.
Yeah.
But no, Georgia's not going to crack the top 8.
Clemson would be another one you'd say. I think 5 of the 8 at least, and probably more than that, are probably settled at this point. Just a matter of what number goes out beside
North
them.
Carolina is going to be one of them.
But there's an
Look, the SEC and the ACC are generally speaking, when it comes, to where they seed and stack up in the polls, I mean, those are the two leagues. SEC obviously more so than the ACC, but there are going to be some Big 12 teams in there. But you're always going to have a couple of ACC teams in the top 8.
I still think LSU gets in. They're a 3 seed.
I think they get in.
I think they're a 3 seed, maybe a 2 seed. Doesn't really matter if you're a 2 or a 3, but they're going to go wreck someone's party.
I don't know. They're not very good.
Yeah, but the step
most
down,
years,
most
years I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Most years I would agree with that, but they're not very good this year.
Well, I think and you've reminded of this before. The difference from the time you leave Hoover to the level of competition you'll play the next weekend. You've seen the elite of the elite all conference season long. There is a major shift once you get into that regional play compared to what you've seen.
After the first game, that is absolutely true. And that's why I've always maintained that for some teams, I won't say for all teams, but for a lot of teams, the hardest game to win is the first one in that first round, particularly if, whether you're playing at home or not. I'll just put it that way. Everybody's got one great pitcher. Everybody's got one guy that can beat you. But now you get past that first day, and that's where it's different.
Yeah.
And that's where a team like Arkansas has an advantage. But that's why it's so important to win that first game.
But who do you have right now? I mean, going into Game 2 at A&M that you 100% trust that's not named Hagen Smith to go out there and make sure you take care of the 4 seed? I mean, you're shaking up your pitching this weekend. You got a TBA for Game 3. You'd love to pitch off. You must pitch off in Game 1 and hold Hagen Smith for Game 2 of a regional. Who do you 100% trust in that 4 versus 1 matchup? And I know we're getting the cart in front of the horse. Okay.
And Tommy, they gave up 1 run in 11 innings last night to a team that spent a lot of the season ranked number 1 in the country. Pitching's not the issue. Pitching's not the issue. You got to get some stuff going on that other side. You got to put some runs on the board. The weather's warming up. This is the time of year you need to score. And that's why I say, whether you win or you lose tonight, whether you win or you lose tomorrow, get back to playing winning baseball on the offensive side. There's no problem with the pitching. There's no problem with the defense. I know that, the cast of characters may change, but I still think they're better off in those areas maybe than people think. But you got to find a way to put runs on the board. That's the only way you win the game. And let me pause just for a second and talk to you about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. My partners in the real estate business. And I say real estate business for me. Business for me was buying and selling a home. The real estate business for them is a 24/7, 365-day vocation. That's what separates them from a lot of the other companies out there. There are no part-time giggers involved in this. This is an operation, number one, where when you partner with one of their agents, you're going to get the best train in the business. Weicker trains them better than anybody. That's important right now, maybe more important than ever. You're also going to get somebody that listens. I can tell you from experience, that's very true. They listen to your situation. They cater a plan toward you, and they present you with that plan. If your real estate agent's not presenting you a plan, it means they don't have one. Or if they do, they don't want you to hold them to account. That was my experience with them. And ultimately, we got from contract to close, and it worked out beyond my expectations. And I think that'll be your experience, too. They've got offices in Northwest Arkansas. They're in Washington and Benton counties. Fort Smith, here's talking about their new office in Branson. And you can check out their wide selection of homes at WeicherGriffin.com.
You mentioned Fort Smith and their office. I was just down the road from their office and around the corner at Uncorked last night, where the One Razorback Road show rolled in. They had a nice crowd. When the doors opened, there was probably 125, 150 people waiting when the bus arrived, and people were excited. I was just a little disappointed that, you didn't have Coach Pittman, and I knew Coach Calipari wasn't going to be there because he was at an AAU. Hunter wasn't there, but hey, it was a nice crowd, good gathering. People love talking the Hogs, so I think everybody had a good time last night.
Well, good.
So
that's I've done a few of those things over the years, and that's it's a long week. I'll just put it that way, a long week or 10 days. But I'm glad everybody had a good time last night.
Yeah, it was. We got to talk to Sam Pittman yesterday morning. That was a fun conversation. If you weren't with us yesterday and you haven't listened to the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast from yesterday, you can catch the full interview. I thought Coach had some really interesting comments, and one thing we asked him about, I want to relive some of the moments from yesterday, was about the leadership on the team. We had Hunter Yurachek on earlier this week. That was one thing he noted, is just seeing a difference in the leadership. We asked Coach about the leadership on this year's team, and here's what he said.
Taylon Green is a guy, you need a leader at quarterback. He's got a very unique presence about him. When you have your bigs like Cam Ball and Landon Jackson and Xavier Shorey, and then you go back on offense with Blackstock and Junior Carmona and those guys. When you have your bigs as leaders, as guys, hey, follow me, you can have a strong football team. And I really like the way that they interact with each other on the field. They take care of each other. They knock hell out of each other, and then they go out to dinner. It's very, very hard right now with the portal and NIL to have a really tight football team. It just is. It's very hard. We're very fortunate that we got the type kids on our team where I feel like this is as close a team as we've had.
Yeah, and as he was answering the question, my follow-up was forming in my head was about how do you do that in the portal era where, to me, leadership is identified over time. And he addressed it there at the end of that comment, Chuck. I think finding and identifying leaders amongst peers is harder in today's world. Or I presume it's harder. I'm not in that locker room. But when you get guys that have never played together and are only going to play together for 1 year, I think that does make identifying leaders within your team, within your locker room, more of a challenge.
Well, you've got to have it. And on good teams, players police themselves. It is, I'm sure, more difficult now in the portal era when you don't have as many guys that are holdovers. The thing that has to happen is it has to happen naturally. It cannot be forced. You can, in your mind, be thinking, who are the leaders of my team? But if you go in and try to make somebody a leader, doesn't work out. You either are or you aren't. So I think it's got to happen naturally, and I think it will. And I think you look for those personalities on the recruiting trail. I think you certainly do. And Carmona's one that, just from a personal standpoint, I zeroed in on a long time ago. I've not seen anybody on that team like Sebastian Tretola, since Sebastian Tretola. And I think they miss that. You need somebody in that locker room that about half the team's a little bit afraid of.
Well, and is that why he says what he says about it's good when the bigs are the leaders? And he
Yes.
wasn't zero on one side of the ball, that you're just physically bigger than everybody else, so people are going to follow you. I mean, I guess
think,
that.
not just that, Tommy. I'm dead serious. I think you need someone in there that about half the team's afraid of. I really do believe that.
Okay.
And about half the team was afraid of Tretola. I mean, anybody who was around it knows that. They weren't going to cross him. Do you have a guy like that? I think you're better when you do.
Yeah. I think, just listening to comments and seeing how the last year played out, I think that was one of the recipes. It wasn't the only thing that held this team back and kept them to 4-8, but I think somewhere buried in all of the reasons, not excuses, but the reasons last year's team didn't meet expectations, their own expectations, was they just never identified enough leaders on that team.
Well, I don't think they had enough talent. Leaders, they didn't have a lot of leadership. There's no doubt. They didn't have a lot of leadership. But they didn't have enough talent either. And I think they've got more of that this year, particularly up front. I thought last year on the offensive line, and I'll just speak candidly right here, I think it was a combination of lack of talent and 2/3 of the season, coach looking for a new job. That's what I think happened, if you want to just get right down to it. And I think that's been corrected.
So, all right, we'll play more from that interview from yesterday and a great conversation with Coach. We'll do that more in the show. Scott Tabor's going to hop in the conversation at 7:20. We'll talk about last night's Arkansas loss in 11 innings to Texas A&M, 1-0, as the winning run, the only run in the game, was scored in the bottom of the 11th as Arkansas walked in that run. Arkansas is now 42-11, 19-9 in the SEC. A&M is 43-10, and Chuck, a game back at 18-10. Essentially, if Arkansas could win one of the next two, they're the Western Division champions, and will be the one seed from the West in next week's SEC tournament. If A&M sweeps them both, they'll own the Western Division crown heading into play in Hoover.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you want to win the Western Division, you better find a way to win a ball game.
Yep.
While you're down there. And, we talked about playing winning baseball. If they do that, they're probably going to win one of these two games.
Yeah.
But it was tough last night.
Also keeping an eye on this story this morning, Scottie Scheffler, the world's #1 golfer, has been detained by Louisville Metro Police after an accident that he was not involved in near the gate of Valhalla, and he tried to go around the police. Car was supposed to be stopped. He was detained. We're going to try to update that story.
Sounds like an overzealous officer.
Perhaps.
I say that respectfully.
Perhaps.
When I read that, that's what I read.
All right, we'll get to all of that coming up. We're brought to you by APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group. They have immediate openings in Northwest Arkansas. If you're a licensed CDL driver, boy, do they need you right now. They need people to deliver that cement, deliver that concrete to job sites. They've got an immediate opening. Put you in a truck today. Go to jobs.crh.com for all the details on pay and where the jobs are located and insurance and retirement and profit sharing. That's jobs.crh.com for APAC Arcola.
Summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel crickhopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, and swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The crickhopper works great in tandem with light spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Rebel crickhopper.
Roll into the season at WT Equipment. Get ready to roll with strong savings on hay tools, compact and mid-range tractors, and even our large commercial-grade hay equipment. Find out and save $5,000, $10,000, or more in cash back. Or get 0% financing for up to 48 months on hay tools, 60 months on mid-range tractors, and up to 72 months on compacts.
Hurry, offer ends June 30th. For commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification and CNH Industrial Capital America LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply. Down payment may be required. WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Tommy Craft for the Fence Man. If you've always wanted powered automatic gates at your home or business, but you didn't know who to call, let me tell you about the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man does it all. Custom wrought iron installations, automatic gates, even controlled access systems, and lots more. Ask about 18-month, same as cash financing with approved credit. For your custom fence and gate needs, call the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Robert Half research indicates 9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. If you have open roles, chances are you're feeling this too. That's why you need Robert Half. Our specialized recruiting professionals engage with our proprietary AI to connect businesses of all sizes with highly skilled talent in finance and accounting, technology, marketing and creative, legal, and administrative and customer support. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hi, folks. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news about our first ever trade-in acquisition event. We need your trade. So now through Memorial Day, get your state sales tax paid when you trade for any one of our road-ready certified vehicles. That's right, state sales tax paid when you trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bushfield. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bushfield. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Flu vaccines, both regular and high dose for seniors, are now available at Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith. Call 452-6116 to schedule your shot appointment. Usually there is no cost when covered by your insurance. Law's Drug has COVID vaccines, RSV vaccines for ages 60 plus. Pneumonia and tetanus shots are also available. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Get your fishing gear ready for the 34th Annual Judge Greg Ray Memorial Tri-Lakes Big Bass Festival, sponsored by the Sevier County Chamber of Commerce. Saturday, May 25th, Memorial Day weekend. Get your fish on at either Dirks, DeQueen, or Gillum Lakes. With over $30,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs. And there'll be a special $10,000 reel the weight prize on each lake if your winning numbers match up. Go online, SevierCountyChamberOfCommerce.org for an entry form. This ad paid for with state and regional funds.
I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas. I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
When it's time for breakfast, Calico County is making it all from scratch. You have the dedicated early morning crew at Calico are cooking up and serving buttermilk pancakes, moist biscuits, rich waffles, country fried potatoes, 3 types of gravy, and of course their famous cinnamon rolls and much more. They serve all of this and a lot more 7 days a week until 11 a.m. Stop in, call ahead, or get it to go. Or just come by and pick up a dozen cinnamon rolls for the office. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, or catering, roll on into Calico County. They're home cooking good. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue behind Randall Ford.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, occasional showers and thunderstorms. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be right around the mid to upper 70s.
Let's see, showers and a chance of thunderstorms tonight, and overnight low will drop down to right around the lower 60s. Saturday, just a slight chance of showers and storms, otherwise periods of sunshine, highs in the 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
345 career strikeouts for Hagen Smith, 146 of them this year. Here's the pitch. He struck him out looking with a slider on the outside corner. There is a new career strikeout king at the University of Arkansas. And it's Hagen Smith, and he hasn't even completed his third season here.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Kristen Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McCarty Daniel hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
Hey, hour 2 of the Morning Rush on a Fastball Friday. Tommy and Chuck are here. Big C and Colton on the 1s and 2s as Ty is off at another wedding. And I saw a picture of him and Drew Barrett last night hanging out in Memphis. So hopefully they're not in the situation Scottie Scheffler's in this morning. Hopefully they're not in handcuffs as they wake up this morning.
There's no guarantee.
There's a higher likelihood, though. I mean, we had to take a bet on Scottie Scheffler or Ty Richardson in handcuffs. I think it'd have been a landslide, and where we put our money on the Bet Saracen app. So, all right, that's where we begin. The McClarty Daniel hotline is open, 877-377-6963. We'll get to baseball a lot in this hour. We got some football we want to discuss and a little bit on the PGA Championship and the news this morning with Scottie Scheffler, who's been detained by the Louisville Metro Police, or at least was earlier. We'll continue to follow that story this morning. Hey, we're brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72. Off of I-49 in Springdale. Great brands like Grand Design, Forest River, and Brinkley. In fact, they're bringing Brinkley's to a new Fort Smith location later this year, early next year, so be on the lookout for that as they're planning a new location in the River Valley, and you'll have a chance to do that. All of that from Wheels RV, where you get the lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72, off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV. All right, if you're just getting in the car, you're just waking up this morning, just turn this on. It was a late start last night with Arkansas baseball. Weather delayed the start till after 8 o'clock. It was 8:32, I think, when they got the first pitch last night. So it was a late night. Game went extra innings, of course, 11 innings. Hagen Smith got the strikeout record. In fact, he fanned 14 batters of the 21 batters he faced last night in 6 innings of work. But nonetheless, the Hogs come up short, and they lose 1-0, Chuck, in 11 innings in a painful, heartbreaking way with a winning run for A&M being walked home.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, in the bottom of the 11th inning, got the first guy out, and then, they had a walk and a hit, and then an intentional walk to load the bases, and then a bases-loaded walk to end the game with 2 outs. They brought McIntyre in. Arkansas, they had 19 strikeouts and no walks, and then 3 walks ultimately got A&M their run in. And Arkansas had some chances during the game. They hit the ball on the nose 4 times in the top of the 11th inning. One of them was a foul that would have scored a run, but it just didn't fall their way, and it was a tough loss. And you got to find a way. If you're going to win the West, you got to find a way to win a game.
Mm-hmm. And that's what it's going to boil down to over the next 2 days. I mean, if A&M can win them both, they win the West. If Arkansas wins one of 2, they will be the Western Division champion. And basically, I mean, yes, you get the Western Division crown and you have that title, and that will always be special for these players. It does affect seeding for next week in the SEC tournament, but Chuck, let's be honest. A&M's going to be a national seed. Arkansas is going to be a national seed. Kentucky and Tennessee are battling out in the East. They're going to be 4 of the top 8. Clemson's 5. North Carolina. They're all locked up. I mean, I know the players want to win this, and Scott Tabor will scold me for this later. But in the end, this doesn't affect what's really important. That's what happens a couple weeks from now.
You know, it's funny. And, we spent yesterday talking about how bad it is that divisions are going away.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to have a divisional championship to play for anymore. And the A&M Arkansas series wouldn't mean nearly as much if you didn't have a divisional championship on the line. And then we lose. It's like, well, it really doesn't matter all that much anyway. So, and I'm guilty of it too. I'm not casting stones. Basically everything that we feel this morning negates our argument yesterday that they need to keep divisions. Well, and that's just kind of how sports works. I'm not knocking what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I feel the same way. But I'm honest enough to say that at least part of that feeling is because my team didn't win game 1.
See, let me back up. Never's a big word. This season, I've cared nothing about a Western Division. I've cared nothing about regular season anything.
But we talked about it a lot.
It is not on my priority list. Right or wrong, I'm in Omaha or bust mode. I don't care. I mean, I've watched Mississippi State and Ole Miss win national titles and not win the Western Division. Do you think they care that they didn't win the Western Division?
I'm not disagreeing with
I've
that.
seen Arkansas teams and others that have won it all in the regular season. Won it all in Hoover. Didn't hoist the trophy that counts at the end. That's the, right or wrong. That's where I'm at. I'm not saying I'm right and everyone else is wrong that feels differently, but I don't care about the Western Division, the regular season. I sure as hell don't care about what happens in Hoover.
Well, that's why we're going to have a 16. That's why we're going to have one 16-team league. We're not going to have any more divisions because I suspect most people probably share that sentiment.
But I do care about playing certain teams on a more
frequent
basis.
Ways.
I understand. I want my cake and eat it too. I mean, as a sports fan, I want it all. I just want it my way. But
I have to say though that I feel differently about divisions today than I did yesterday. I'll be honest enough to admit that.
Yeah.
I'm honest enough to admit that, and I think that that probably was the argument when they tried to come to a conclusion on what to do about divisions, because you cannot on Thursday say divisions matter and then on Friday say I don't care about it.
Sure it can. I'm a
fan. You can't do that. It doesn't work that way.
I'll tell you what I do care about, and you'll probably think I'm going over the top here, but I feel like the trend's going the wrong direction right now.
I hear you.
I want to get you mentioned the term winning baseball. And you're concerned about the hitting. I'm probably a little more concerned about starting pitching past Hagen Smith. Lump it all together in the pot of chili. They just got to get back to playing winning baseball. And I just don't like the trend this team is on right now over the last 10 to 20 days.
Well, again, we got so spoiled. And I said it a million times, probably to the point people were tired of hearing it. They're making the difficult look easy. And we need to have some appreciation for how difficult what they're doing is, because there are going to be points in the season where it is not like this. Well, we're to that point in the season. We're playing other great teams. Texas A&M's just as good as Arkansas. There's a play or two difference. Same thing for Tennessee. Same thing for Kentucky. Same thing for a team like Georgia when they're having a good weekend. There's not much difference between those teams at all. Now these are the teams that they're playing, and it's hard to win. But now, they still found a way to win that series last weekend. Let's not forget that. And there's still 2 games left to play this weekend. I share your concern. I'm not just sitting here saying, man, everything's fine and nothing to see here. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying we are at the point in the season where the margin for error is much smaller because the opponents are much better. Respectfully, LSU is not what LSU's been. Sweeping LSU did not make us a national championship contender by itself. There's some teams that we caught at the right time. Now you're playing the good teams when they're clicking, and you got to match that. And it's a lot tougher to do.
Yeah. All right, our Morning Rush Daily question is coming up. We'll get into that. It's going to be baseball related. Your thoughts on the McClarty Daniel hotline are welcome. We'll get to some of those texts. 877-377-6963. And Scott Tabor joins us in the next segment.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text BIKE to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text BIKE to 321-321. That's BIKE to 321-321.
Hey, this is Landon Jackson, and you're listening to ESPN Arkansas.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep West Ark Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
West Ark Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Robert.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
Hey, do y'all know what time it is?
It's about 2:30.
Summertime?
It's that and a whole lot more.
And no matter what's happening, the Stadium Shop has what you need.
We have the best selection for showing off your Razorback spirit while on vacation, even Razorback swim trunks.
Graduations, anniversaries, birthdays, we have what you need for your event.
And we have what you need for that trip to Omaha.
Even a new line of hard shell luggage.
Also, Omaha tees, flags, bases, loaded hats, and the boppers.
And you can get them here at the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium. Or you can check us online at those WWNs.
Dad, let me do that before you hurt yourself. He's talking about our website, shoponrazorback.com.
And if you can't reach us there, call us at 479 Stadium.
All from the only family, alumni-owned and operated Razorback store.
South of the North Pole.
Dad, please.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go
Hawks.
It's a party in the parking lot. Camping World with locations in Van Buren and Podo is the place to be. Take the summer off from payments, 0 down and no payments for 90 days. There will be special pricing for this parking lot event on new and used RVs, starting as low as $13,999. You can save up to 70% on select retail items. There's something for everybody, so come on out for the food and fun at the party in the parking lot at both Camping World locations in Van Buren and Podo, May 16th through the 18th, and in Van Buren on the 19th.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
I'm Jim Cash III, owner of the Diamond Center.
I invite you to come visit us for all your jewelry needs, including celebrations, purchases, repurposing, or jewelry repairs. The Diamond Center offers the largest selection of engagement rings in the area, along with complete custom design for all those special occasions. My family's legacy in jewelry goes back 4 generations. We strive for excellent customer service, integrity in our pricing, and jewelry of the very best quality and craftsmanship. This is all backed by our exclusive free lifetime warranty. Come see us at the Diamond Center, celebrating a legacy of love.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess.
I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
All right, time for the Morning Rush Daily Question. And it's a straightforward, simple one, but probably has a multitude of answers. We've already kind of kicked this around. How many SEC teams get into the NCAA tournament? I'm looking at the most recent RPI from the NCAA. And Chuck, we talked about national seeds. We both, I think, agree that Kentucky, A&M, Arkansas, and Tennessee are locks. Georgia's RPI, as of 2 days ago, is third, ahead of Arkansas's. Their record's 38-12, and they're third in the East. But I don't know if we can, as quickly as we did earlier, dismiss Georgia from the conversation of a national seed. If they got in, that would be 5 of the top 8 from the Southeastern Conference.
I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, I hear what you're saying, and the RPI is a big part of it, but I would be surprised if that happened.
North Carolina and Clemson are 2 of the ACC teams that I think will definitely get that. Question is, I guess, side question, will anyone other than an SEC or an ACC team get a top 8 national seed? Logic says yes, but, man, when you look up and down the rankings and the RPIs and who's had the better years, hard to find someone that's not in one of those 2 conferences that belongs in the conversation.
Yeah, but I doubt, and frankly, I'm just going to be honest here. It's not good for the game if you've got 8 national seeds from the southeastern part of the United States. It's not good for growing the game. If they can find another spot for a national host that they can justify, I think they need to do it. I know that goes against probably what some think, but the only thing that concerns me at all about college baseball is with every year that passes, it becomes more of a regional sport. And the demise of the Pac-12 is only going to accelerate that. And, from our standpoint, doesn't change a thing. As far as the Razorbacks and all that stuff and crowds at Baum Walker, quality of play. In fact, it probably makes quality of play in the SEC better. And it means you're going to win a lot of national championships too. But I'd like to see them. I think the demise of the Pac-12 on a different subject is going to have a profound effect on college baseball. We focus on the effects of football and basketball, and rightly so. But there have been a lot of national champions in baseball that have come out of the Pac-12, and you've always been able to count on a regional host or a regional power from out there. And you're not going to be able to do that anymore.
All right, so let me read some teams off, because the top 4 in the RPI, I think we all agree are locks. Kentucky A&M, Georgia, Arkansas, Tennessee's at 6. They're locks for the field. Alabama, lock in your mind?
Oh, I think they're in.
Okay. Mississippi State?
Yeah, they'll host.
All right. South Carolina?
Yeah, they're in.
Ole Miss?
No, they're on the outside looking in right now.
Vanderbilt?
They're in.
Florida? They're only a game.
Looking in right now.
They're
outside
20,
looking in right now.
Let's see, they're 26-26, I guess, after last night.
I think their overall record will keep them out. I don't think Florida's going to be above 500. I don't think they're going to be at 500 coming out of Hoover.
LSU?
They're in.
All right. And Auburn and Missouri, I think, are definitely out at this point.
Unless they win the tournament, they're out.
So you've got 12 teams right now that are in the conversation. Do you think it's 10, 11?
I just some of it depends on other leagues. Some of it depends on what happens over the next couple of days. Hoover may or may not play a role. Who wins the conference tournament? The top 8 or 9 teams, does one of them win the tournament, or does a team like LSU or Ole Miss come out of nowhere and win the thing because the others are ready to go home? All those things come into play. But if I was going to guess, I'd say 10. But if it was 9 or 11, I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be more surprised by 11 than 9.
All right, that's your Morning Rush Daily Question. It's brought to you by Red River Dodge in Heber Springs. They are Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com. Trying to bring Scott Tabor into the conversation. It's brought to you by Alumni Hall. It's where Razorback fans shop. They're next to Whole Foods in Fayetteville. Scott, how many teams do you think end up making the field of 64 out of the Southeastern Conference?
I think you guys pretty much hit it right on the head. It's unless somebody gets hot and or another team that's pretty much in just falls on their face, and somebody like Ole Miss slips in, and Ole Miss has shown you that you don't have to win everything to get up and compete in the College World Series.
Yeah,
so I think 10.
All right. So let's get to last night's game. Gut-wrenching way to lose. 1-0 battle in a pitcher's duel. We'll get to Hagen Smith and his historical accomplishments last night, but walk us through those late frames. We kind of unwinding it earlier where Arkansas just couldn't throw strikes, couldn't get anyone out. They intentionally walked one and end up walking in the one and only run of the game for A&M to win.
If you're a former pitcher or if you're somebody who really appreciates watching good pitching, last night was fantastic to watch until the very end, and you could see two different approaches to the end of the game. A&M went with their starter, and then they went with their ace out of the bullpen, and they stuck with that, and it worked out well. We kind of have a tendency to go a batter here, batter there, batter here, batter there. One inning of 3 up, 3 down, and then pull the guy, looking further down the road. So it becomes a strategy game, it becomes a chess game at the end, and the guys that come in have to throw strikes. And we talk about it all the time. The one thing as a pitcher that you have to do to be successful is throw strikes. And it just sometimes it just gets away from you.
Chuck said something earlier about the crowd and thought that had a bearing on the end of the game. I don't know if you were still up or have watched it back. It was awfully late last night when the game ended. But did you feel like the crowd there at the end, while it wasn't a full house because of weather and the late start, had an effect on Arkansas's pitching staff at the end of the ball game?
That's always easy to point the crowd. Well, the crowd was loud, or this was this, or this was that. And some kids it affects. Some kids it doesn't. And that's that part where the elite pitchers and the guy at the top shelf, they can walk out. Everything just turns into a little hum. You get out there. You have a song in your head or something else going on is what makes it easy to face those crowds. But some kids it does, some kids it doesn't. And you don't know. You don't know. You don't see McIntyre coming in and walking a guy. I never would have seen that scenario early in the season. He's the guy you want to come in that situation, bases loaded, and let's just get this last guy out. It just didn't work out. Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. But all in all, it was a great game because we have to remember A&M is one of the elite hitting teams in the country.
Well, sure.
We're not playing the lower end. We're playing the top end, and it's a 1-0 game after 11 innings. So you can't get down here. Can't get down about that.
Scott Tabor with us here on the Morning Rush. It's brought to you by Alumni Hall. Let's talk about Hagen Smith. He went 6 innings last night, faced 21 batters, no runs on 2 hits, fanned 14, and he is now the all-time strikeout king at Arkansas. What makes him so special?
He doesn't have to have his best stuff. He doesn't have to hit every spot to still be elite. There were times where he would get behind. My son and I were watching. I said, he's going to throw a fastball right behind. The guy knows it's coming, and he's still not going to hit it. And sure enough, I mean, it'd be a bell-tie fastball right down the middle at 97 miles an hour, and they're missing it. Because 97, 98, you don't have a lot of time to put the barrel where you want it. You've got to kind of guess a little bit, just even on the fastball. He's just got elite stuff, and I hope everybody watching really appreciates what they're watching, because they're going to get to watch it on TV, coming up in the next year or two. So it's fun to watch, and his attitude. He's a power pitcher. On the other side, you had Prater. Prater matched him pitch for pitch. Now, Prater wasn't pitching against Texas A&M. He was pitching against a little less hitting team facing the Razorbacks. We don't hit the ball well. We don't have 8 long ball threats in the lineup, with 20-plus home runs or whatever they got. But he just walked up and he was just Hagen being Hagen. But you can see last week, his success, he was missing the strike zone. And when you start missing too much, you're just not going to have that success.
Scott, Texas A&M last night threw their 10th shutout of the season. It's the most shutouts A&M's had in almost 50 years. We watch our pitching staff, and A&M's obviously got a great pitching staff. We lament the lack of offense, and I'm the world's worst. I mean, I see guys hacking with 2 strikes. It drives me nuts. But the pitching is so good right now. I mean, everybody's got, the good teams anyway, they got pitchers with lights-out stuff. And we may be getting to the point where, 4-3 is a slugfest. I mean, it almost feels that way sometimes right now.
It is. At the end of the season, baseball teams, pitching staffs get pared down. Well, you'll have your top 5, 6, 7 guys, and those are the guys that are going to throw over and over and over. You'll get to we're at the part of the season we're in a regional or a super regional where, even more so in the World Series, where your number 1 starter may come in relief, in the 4th game or the 3rd game instead of starting, because you got to have it. And it's that way in basketball. You'll watch them get to the end of the season. You're playing 10 guys, and you come down to the end of the season tournament time, you're playing 6 guys. Your top 6. And so this is where you've got to put up or shut up if you're on the pitching staff. And those guys last night, they had confidence in all of them because they all have fantastic stuff. You're bringing in 95, 98, 101, 100. It's just crazy, the talent. So it's to look forward, to roll the clock forward. You're looking at next year where these guys are going to get an extra summer of seasoning, year-to-year improvement. And if all these arms pan out next year, we're going to be that team that's going to be having 10 shutouts and all the other stuff, the good stuff that comes with that. So it's amazing to see. And when we talk about it, that's why anybody can win the World Series anymore. You just got to get there. You've just got to get there.
Hey, let me ask you about tonight. Gage Wood's going to start. My thought this week, and admittedly it is very much from the outside looking in, is that, number 1, Dave's tired of falling behind early with the pitchers that he started beyond Smith. And beyond that, though, I can't see him going more than 1 time through the order. I mean, you're a pitcher, and you've kind of watched them stretch him out a little bit. Do you think he goes more than 3 innings, or do you think maybe they'd like to stretch him beyond that?
I think you're right, Chuck. I think they may get him 3 innings and then bring somebody else in. They may do a bullpen, and everybody's going in throwing an inning or throwing 2 innings. It's just hard to tell. You don't know what the coaching staff's thinking because they're having to think not just for this game. They're trying to think a little bit ahead. That may be why they pulled some of the guys last night for winning or out. So I don't know. Thinking there's 8,000 different ways to do it. 10 ways to skin a cat. I don't think you could go wrong anyway as long as your pitchers are coming in and throwing good quality strikes. Because to go through the lineup, a good starter has to have more than 1 or 2 pitches that he can throw for strikes. You have to be able to learn to pitch backwards in the count, change-ups on fastball counts. Prater last night, I loved watching him throw. If you watched what his best pitch was, he had an incredible changeup.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you can't hit a great changeup. We kept swinging through it, and you look at it, and it's 78 miles an hour, and the guys are swinging it and missing it by 2 feet because everything was from the same gap, and it wasn't falling way off the map. It was fun to watch him pitch. I hated he was on the other side, but it was fun watching him pitch.
Yeah, I thought he was he was a thing of beauty a time or two. The one good thing, and I'll turn it back over to you guys after this, but the one good thing, and I want to hear you talk about this, Scott. You touched on it there. A&M's reliever, who I thought was just as good as the starter, he's done until, he might have an inning maybe tomorrow, but they stretched him out, and he's an all-SEC reliever. I mean, he's really good. He was really good last night, but he can't pitch tonight. And if he does pitch tomorrow, it'll be very minimally.
46 pitches last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the same thing, and I was thinking they're going all in on every game. He didn't
Absolutely.
Want to
That's
lose this
exactly
game.
what
he
they're
wasn't
doing.
looking. Yeah, and they should, just like we should. We should be going all in on every game. I mean, we win one game, we win the Western Division, and I know that doesn't mean anything, Tommy, but it does to the kids. Every team wants to make a dog pile, and they want a dog pile. You want to win something. You don't want to just play. You're not playing for a. Yeah, they want a ring. They don't want. It's not one of those that you put it on and then you get a piece of candy. They want a real ring, and that's a big thing because that's something you're going to have forever. And so you play for that stuff. You go for this ring, and then you go for that ring, and then the ring gets bigger the higher up you go. And so it's game to game, series to series, and at that part where they say it just means more. It does. Every pitch means a little bit more. So you still have to play the game relaxed, though, and go out and try to hit a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. So it's difficult.
Tell you what you do with that Western Division. You engrave that somewhere on the inside of the band of your national championship ring. That's what you do, Tabor, with that Western Division stuff.
It was that easy. Because here's the deal. We all talk about expectations. Who would have thought at this point in the season that we still don't know exactly who our 3 starters are going to be. We don't know who's going to be in the outfield. We almost have more questions now than we did 6-8 weeks ago because of lack of performance. And things shift around during the season. You have to be able to adjust. I think we have a deep enough bullpen and some great arms coming out of the bullpen that we can adjust and make it through without having Tiger and Molina be our 2 and 3 studs. So it's and they could come back and they could be the heroes of the whole thing. You just don't know. Pitching is that way. So I'd love to see somebody step up and just every time they get out, they just dominate. Other than Hagan, we know he is.
Yeah, because of the Thursday night, which we've had around the league, it is a night game. I guess sometimes you're ready after an ending like that to get to the ballpark and wipe that one away. Is it an advantage because of the short rest and because of the way the game ended? How do you feel about the evening start versus what would have been normally a Saturday start or something after a game like that?
Well, I guarantee you they didn't have them up at 7 o'clock this morning doing calisthenics and running around the parking lot. They're got to sleep in. They'll have a late morning, have a late breakfast, as a team, kind of a brunch deal. They've got it all laid out how they want to be. You got to remember, these kids aren't you and I. These kids are 20 years old. Bouncing back after a game the night before, that's not as big of a deal as it seemed to us anyway.
All right. Scott, appreciate your time. We'll do it again next Friday, and we'll already have a game or two, I guess 2 games under our belt at the SEC tournament.
All right. Look forward to it.
Right,
Go Hogs.
Scott Tabor, former Razorback, with us every Friday here on the Morning Rush during baseball seasons, brought to you by Alumni Hall, your ultimate Razorback shopping experience, the best and largest selection of licensed apparel for the whole family. Nike, Champion, Columbia, Onward Reserve, Peter Millar. They've got Yeti cups and accessories and everything you want. They got gift items. If you're an Arkansas student, faculty member, or you have served in the military, bring your ID in for a special discount. Plus, you can earn cash back with Hall Pass rewards. You get $10 off for every 150 points that you earn with Alumni Hall. They're next to Whole Foods in Fayetteville, or shop alumnihall.com. Alumni Hall, it's where Razorback fans shop. They had several good shots last night of the fans in College Station. There was a good Razorback visiting contingent that was there last night.
There were, and there will be some tonight, and there might even be more tomorrow. There is such a large alumni base. there's a large one in Houston. Dallas is the one that gets, all the attention, and rightly so. But there's a large contingent in Houston, which is right down the road. And anytime the Razorbacks play in Texas, there will be people there. Now, I don't know how many tickets they've been able to get because, from what I understand, everything all weekend's been pre-sold. So I don't know how many they've been able to get, but I'll bet, obviously, last night, parents and family members and they were there, and there may be others too.
Yeah. Other story we're following this morning, we've been recapping Arkansas's Game 1 loss to A&M. The other story of the day, the PGA Championship got underway yesterday, but it's taken a back seat to Scottie Scheffler, who was in the back seat of a police car in Louisville this morning near the gate of Valhalla. Still waiting on some updates on this story, but he was detained by Louisville Metro Police this morning while trying to drive into the entrance of Valhalla Country Club. Traffic outside the course had been stopped, was backed up for a mile or more after a man was struck and killed by a shuttle bus around 5 a.m. Eastern this morning. Now, according to Jeff Darlington, who's been reporting from the scene and witnessed the incident, Scheffler was trying to drive around the crash scene on a median. A police officer instructed Scheffler to stop, but Scheffler continued to drive about 10 to 20 yards toward the entrance, and at that point, an officer attached himself or held on to the side of Scheffler's car. Scheffler stopped the car and was then detained at the gate, and as of last report, was still being detained. Tee times have been delayed. It has nothing to do with Scheffler per se, but has everything to do with this accident that's backed traffic up and delayed everything there. So the world's number one player, in question at least for round two.
Well, and we should emphasize he was not involved in this at all.
Nope.
In terms of the accident that very sadly the person died, and it sounds like, based on the video that I've watched and I know you've watched and the reporting this morning, that he and the officer got into some sort of verbal altercation. As you said, Scheffler tried to drive around something, and I guess he was told to stop, and words were exchanged. And next thing you know, Scheffler's being dragged out of the car and put him up against the car, cuffed him, and threw him in the back of a squad car and drove him away. So that's kind of what's happened. Now, sometimes, when you hear someone died and somebody's in handcuffs, it makes it sound like maybe they were involved in it. But he sounds to me like he and the officer just got into it. Is sort of what my impression is.
So there's probably more to come on this, obviously, but we will keep one eye on that as the PGA Championship this weekend, minus Scottie Scheffler, would just be less interesting, honestly. And he was five behind the leader yesterday, and if he plays today, which I suspect he will, I'll be interested to see it's one thing to come back days after your first child is born. You're able to process things as they come, but something like this I'll be interested to see how he can get refocused, and if he plays round two, and I suspect he will, what kind of outing does he have? That'll be
It'll be a day to remember. I'll bet when he lays his head down tonight, he'll say, man, it's been a hell of a day.
Yeah, so it certainly something worth keeping our eye on, and we will continue to do that. All right, our Fitzman Friday picks coming up in just a few minutes. We'll look at some baseball for the weekend and the NBA playoffs as well. We're brought to you by Gaston's White River Resort. 870-431-5202 is their number. Summertime is just around the corner. Kids are out of school the next week or two, and if you're making summer plans, now is the time to call Gaston's. Get that holiday weekend, get the special cabin or lodge you've been in before. Or if it's your first time at Gaston's, they can accommodate a group of 2 or 22 in one building, one roof, and everybody be together for a great family time. Or if it's like my family, 2 different buildings separate us all out for a even better family time. They can customize the trip with their guides that will show you a great time fishing on the White River. 870-431-5202. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
Cheering for the other SEC schools is like cheering for the devil because he's in the Bible. I'm not going to do it.
This is the Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at HIMS, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit, hims.com/joy.
This is the Morning Rush.
Do you need help with your next project? Metters Lumber True Value is here to help. A family-owned business since 1936, the staff has more than 90 years of experience in construction and the hardware business. If they don't have what you need, they know how to get it, and they are more than happy to accommodate your special order. So whether it's building a new deck, a paint project around the house, or needing a new set of tools, Metters Lumber True Value has everything you need. With locations in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville, and you can shop online at metterslumber.com. Metters Lumber True Value.
The Old Fort Days Rodeo, a Fort Smith tradition since 1933, has a new tradition with the launch of Old Fort Days Rodeo official merchandise. Over 25 different ball caps by Red Dirt, Cactus Alley, and Richardson. 12 different t-shirt designs for men, women, and children. Koozies for your beverage cans and bottles. Yukon Outfitters stainless cups and tumblers. Hat pins, stickers, and more. Check out the awesome collection of Old Fort Days merchandise. Only at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Barrels and Brews Bottle Shop at the Hub and Chaffee Crossing has everything you need for your favorite activities. Our knowledgeable staff will be glad to help you with the current specials and our new arrivals of must-have bourbons and whiskeys. Hit the cooler for some of the coldest beer in town or choose from our large selection of amazing wines. Order online or call ahead Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. at the Hub in Chaffee Crossing. Barrels and Brews, voted best of the best in Fort Smith. It will put a smile on your face.
Warning, warning, attention all homeowners. Hi, this is Justin at West Termite Pest and Lawn. It's definitely bug season and we are priced to earn your business. Licensed in Arkansas and Oklahoma. Call today for a free evaluation, 479-782-7291. West Termite Pest and Lawn, protecting your home, health, and peace of mind.
All services performed with children and pets in mind.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Hey, Wicks. Billy, K is for horses. Are my ears that long?
Oh, you got me again. I'm going to order a large Boss Hog pizza for fishing tomorrow.
That's a lot of food. You taking a friend?
No, sir. I'm going to use it as bait.
Pizza as bait for fishing?
Yes'm. The catfish love 'em, some Jim's Razorback pizza.
They do?
Yes'm. They chase the bacon faster than green grass through a goose.
Bacon? Never would have thunk it.
Yup, and they come right to the river's edge when I call them too. Woo! Fish suey!
Oh, blessed Billy. All right, son. Have fun fishing.
Jim's Razorback Pizza. Blessed to serve you. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey & Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey & Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit kevinhickeylaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey & Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Well, we'll lead off the Hog Update with the news from College Station last night as Arkansas drops game 1 of a 3-game set with A&M, 1-0 in 11 innings last night. Arkansas starting pitcher Hagen Smith was brilliant once again, breaking the school record for career strikeouts, fanning 14 Aggie batters last night. Hogs lose 1-0. They play again tonight against Texas A&M in Game 2. If Arkansas wins one of the next 2 games against A&M, they are the Western Division champion. Game scheduled for 7 p.m. tonight. You can hear it on most of these ESPN Arkansas stations this evening and the Hit That Line Now app. Other news, Arkansas's men's golf team eliminated from the NCAA postseason as they finished their season 2 days ago in Austin. The women will play in California, in Carlsbad, coming up in the national championship, as it's going to be their 12th program appearance and their 10th under Sean Estes Taylor. This is another big team accomplishment. From what I've read, one of her best teams that she's ever put together at Arkansas, Chuck.
Yeah, they're good. They are really good. They were dominant in that regional at Las Vegas. And, I mean, they had, I think, Kajal Mystery shot a 66, and I think maybe the Todd girl shot a 66-2, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, they're really – and it's not just them. I mean, team-wise – lots of times if you follow college golf, you know that some of the scores, some of the team scores can be slightly over par, and you can still be really good. I mean, the first 2 days of that regional, they shot 8 under as a team. I mean, back-to-back days. Everybody's playing well, so they've got a chance. I'm not going to say they're the favorite because I don't know enough about it to say. But I know they dominated their regional, and they got a lot of players playing well right now, and they're going to be in the hunt.
Hey, for the 4th year in a row, the Arkansas softball team's going to host a regional beginning tonight at Bogle Park. It's the 5th time in program history, but the 4th consecutive year. Tonight, Arkansas plays at 7:30 against Southeastern Missouri. Villanova and Arizona this afternoon at 5. Those games available, Chuck, on ESPN+.
That's the talk of the town right now. In Northwest Arkansas is that softball regional. That's a tough ticket. Now, obviously, there are not as many seats there as there are at Baum-Walker Stadium. But that place is going to be full tonight, and it's going to be full all weekend.
Yeah.
And they'll have a big time, and I hope they do well.
If Arkansas wins against SEMO tonight at 7:30, they will play the winner of the Villanova-Arizona game at 2 p.m. tomorrow. So it's unlike most setups where the winners play late. It's the early game tomorrow. The loser of game 1 plays the losers of today's games play at 4:30, and then the winners of the losers game and the loser of the first game play at 7. I know it's a bit confusing, but it's backwards from what we're used to in baseball. So I wanted to mention that if Arkansas wins, they'll play at 2. If they lose, they'll play at 4:30 tomorrow.
I actually like that. Because, if you lose the winner's bracket game on Saturday, the way it is in baseball, if you lose that game on Saturday night, you're coming back to the ballpark first thing the next day, having to win twice. Softball, you go to a winner's bracket game in the afternoon. If you lose that game, you got a little time to recover before you come back the next day. I actually like the way they do it, but that's neither here nor there, I guess.
Arkansas is 12-2 all time against Southeast Missouri. They've played Arizona 9 times. The Hogs have only won 3, and Arkansas is 4-0 all time versus Villanova. None of that means anything today, but that's the historical perspective on that as the regional gets underway. All right, that's your Hog Update, and it's brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Well, we welcome in the Fence Man here. Sean with the Fence Man is here for another Fence Man Friday. Kind of a cloudy, wet week that we've had all week long.
Yes, but it hasn't been so bad that we can't get out and get what needs to get done. So we've had a pretty successful week this week.
Soft dirt.
Soft dirt is right.
Makes digging easier.
If you can't dig it, we can shove it in.
So, I don't think I'd put that in the next ad. Let's get together after the show and work on that. We'll recraft that.
Let me put it this way. It's called the no-dig system is the next thing they're coming with. They're pounding the post 3 to 4 foot in the ground with no concrete. I don't believe in it yet, but we'll see.
All right, let's get to it. It's our Fence Man Friday picks. We do them each week here on the Morning Rush.
Fenceman Friday Picks. Call the Fenceman for all kinds of fences, controlled access, and custom iron projects. 479-782-3936. The Fenceman. We ain't afraid of no work.
I want to pick a couple of SEC series, and also want to look at the PGA, and also want to look at a little bit of NBA basketball. We'll move quickly. LSU and Ole Miss. LSU won last night 5-1. Sean, does LSU win one more and take that series, or does Ole Miss come back at Baton Rouge and win the last 2? I think this is a pivotal series for postseason SEC teams.
No, I think LSU is going to take it.
All right, Chuck, who you got?
I got LSU to win.
Yeah, I think LSU at home is going to be too much. All right, Sean, we got to put you on the spot. Aggies and the Razorbacks tonight at 7, and then again on Saturday. Who wins the series between Arkansas and Texas A&M?
Well, it is a battle royale at my house last night. We watched the game almost to the very end, and Hogs are going to take it. I think they're going to come back with a vengeance and take both next 2 games.
Soft dirt wins.
That's right.
Tonight, let's move to the NBA. The Knicks and the Pacers. Right now, New York leads the series 3-2. The game's in Indiana. Chuck, I know you're the Knicks fan here on the show. Knicks close it out and win the series, or does Indiana force a Game 7?
Pacers win tonight. Knicks win Game 7.
All right.
I'm going to follow Chuck's lead on that one.
We always root for a Game 7, but I'm going to go with the Knicks. They win it on the road, and they move on to the conference final. All right, tomorrow, 7 o'clock, evening game. Thunder, Mavericks in Dallas. Dallas can close out this series. They lead 3-2. Who wins this one?
Thunder.
All right, they go on the road and win. Chuck?
I think the Thunder win it, too. I think Shea Gilgeous-Alexander goes off, and they head back to Oklahoma City for Game 7.
I will go with the Thunder as well in a critical Game 7, but 82% of the time, the team that won Game 5 is going to win the series. All right, one pick, one name. We know that Scheffler's iffy. There's actually a mug shot out. He's been booked at this point. We'll get back to that story. It's unbelievable. Give me a name real quick for the PGA Championship.
He's going to get a slide. He's going to be in. He's going to be in the game.
All right.
I'm going to still take Scheffler. He's going to make it.
Chuck?
Xander Schauffele wins the PGA.
Wire to wire. Tony Finau. Give me Tony Finau. All right, that's our Fence Man Friday picks, brought to you by our buddy who's got the soft dirt. He can dig up in your yard, put posts in there, railing, boards, whatever you need.
You name it.
Get you looking great.
Yeah, we always like a challenge, too. You know, you got some rough ground, crazy terrain. Your wife's been on Pinterest for a while, wants some sort of crazy design fence. Hey,
she's always looking for a cheaper way, right?
I don't know about cheaper. I think that they want to spend the money. So we want the more elaborate, complicated,
have your wife call. That's what Sean wants. 782-3936. 782-3936, the Fitz Man. He ain't afraid of no work. Hour 3,
The
next.
best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheel. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Roll into the season at WT Equipment. Get ready to roll with strong savings on hay tools, compact and mid-range tractors, and even our large commercial-grade hay equipment. Find out and save $5,000, $10,000, or more in cash back. Or get 0% financing for up to 48 months on hay tools, 60 months on mid-range tractors, and up to 72 months on compacts. Hurry, offer ends June 30th for commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification and CNH Industrial Capital America LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply. Down payment may be required. WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Ty, that's the million-dollar question. This is the Morning Rush.
We're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Robert.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
Hey, do y'all know what time it is?
It's about 2:30.
Summertime?
It's that and a whole lot more.
And no matter what's happening, the Stadium Shop has what you need.
We have the best selection for showing off your Razorback spirit while on vacation, even Razorback swim trunks.
Graduations, anniversaries, birthdays, we have what you need for your event.
And we have what you need for that trip to Omaha.
Even a new line of hard shell luggage.
Also, Omaha tees, flags, bases, loaded hats, and the boppers.
And you can get them here at the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium. Or you can check us online at those WWNs.
Dad, let me do that before you hurt yourself. He's talking about our website, shoponrazorback.com.
And if you can't reach us there, call us at 479-STADIUM.
All from the only family, alumni-owned and operated Razorback store.
South of the North Pole.
Dad, please.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hawks.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news about our first ever trade-in acquisition event. We need your trade, so now through Memorial Day, get your state sales tax paid when you trade for any one of our road-ready certified vehicles. That's right, state sales tax paid when you trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, occasional showers and thunderstorms. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be right around the mid to upper 70s. We'll see showers and a chance of thunderstorms tonight. And overnight low will drop down to right around the lower 60s. Saturday, just a slight chance of showers and storms. Otherwise, periods of sunshine. Highs in the 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your mornings.
ESPN 95.3.
345 career strikeouts for Hagen Smith, 146 of them this year. Here's the pitch. He struck him out looking. With a slider on the outside corner, there is a new career strikeout king at the University of Arkansas. And it's Hagen Smith, and he hasn't even completed his 3rd season here.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McCarty Daniel hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bensenville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
All right, we welcome you into the 3rd hour here of the Morning Rush. Tommy and Chuck are here. Colton's answered the phones and on the 1s and 2s. Big C's back there getting everything ready for the podcast later on. Ty's at a wedding. I know it's shocking, but he's at a wedding this weekend and unable to join us this morning. We're going to get to the phones here in just a minute. We got Brent Holding and Cersei. We've been talking baseball. Arkansas lost last night in 11 innings to Texas A&M. They play again tonight at 7 o'clock. We're going to get to that. News of the day is from the PGA Championship. Chuck, Scottie Scheffler, we've talked about this on and off throughout the morning. They have taken him to jail, taken his mugshot, and charged him with 2nd-degree assault of a police officer, criminal mischief in the 3rd degree, reckless driving, and disregarding signals from an officer directing traffic. I don't know if they're throwing the book at him or whatever. I imagine he'll find his way out and be on the course a little bit later, but this thing is not just going to go away at the side of the road.
Well, I was reading the account at ESPN.com, and essentially there'd been a fatal accident, and he was headed to the golf course, and they told him to stop. He started driving, when there's an accident. Obviously, there are police officers around, and they stop traffic, and he drove around the stoppage through the median, and they told him to stop, and he didn't. And a cop jumped on the car and, according to the account, was hanging on for, 20, 30 yards. And finally he stopped and waited about 30 seconds and rolled the window down. And at that point, the officer grabbed his arm, pulled him out, put him up against the back of the squad car, cuffed him. Scheffler turned to an ESPN reporter and asked, "Can you help?" And the officer turned to the ESPN reporter and said, "You need to get out of the way. He's going to jail, and there's nothing you can do about it." And they've taken him to jail. And as you listed the charges there, they've taken his mug shot, and bet he didn't plan on that when he got up this morning.
No, that's not how his day went. The video I saw, he was not dressed like you would see him on the course. He would look to me like he was in workout attire, which probably is common. Those guys change in the locker room.
Yeah, I mean, they got a locker room in there.
So, I mean, that's
a lot
not,
of them.
But my point is, I could see how an officer might confuse him for someone else.
Maybe so.
And that, it's
Maybe
not.
so.
It's not like Scottie Scheffler, someone like, LeBron or Michael Jordan or Tiger Woods that you would instantly recognize. So that's something worth noting and keeping an eye on today, particularly if you're following the PGA Championship. Hey, we're brought to you by River City Coatings. Whether it's small or large, River City Coatings can handle your powder coating needs. It's not just powder coating. It's not just a layer of paint. It becomes part of the metal. I've powder coated. I was building some railing for the deck at the house, and we used rebar, cut them into lengths, and used those as the balusters. And instead of painting each and every one of them, we took the rebar to the powder coating. They cut them to the right length, and then powder coated it. I didn't know about River City Coatings then. I wish I had, because they make it simple and easy, and it becomes part of the metal, so you never have to worry about painting that part again. So if you've got metal you got to put up somewhere, if you've got parts that are on your vehicle or your ATV or your side-by-side or your golf cart that you're adding, brake calipers, it may be a brush guard on the front of your truck. It could be patio furniture, rims, farm equipment, pretty much anything metal. They can powder coat it, and they got a variety of colors. So you don't have to worry about dripping paint that gets on your vehicle or overspray. And their process is easy and will save you time and save you money and protect your investment. It's River City Coatings. They're in Van Buren. Go to rivercitycoatings.com. That's rivercitycoatings.com, or give them a call, 471-7675. That's 479-461-7675.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by McClarty Daniel. McClarty Daniel has a vehicle to fit both your style and budget. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, you're never too far from a good deal. Visit McClartyDaniel.com to find your next ride.
Our man Brent's in Searcy. He has been waiting way too long. Brent, I apologize. You've been on hold so long, but thanks for calling.
No problem, Tommy and Chuck. I'm glad to be able to talk to you, and I'm not surprised that Ty's wedding season has already begun.
Yeah, well, it's the first of many, I'm sure. Well, it's actually about the fourth it's about the fourth of many already.
But I just wanted to say first, before I get into last night's game, what happens in Louisville is just tragic, and it puts a baseball game into perspective. And when the cop tells you to stop, you got to stop. That's all there is to it. I feel bad. My heart and snakes for the man that lost a person, man. But on to last night. I mean, hats off to A&M's pitching, and they made some great plays in the outfield that normal people would not be able to make, or we win that game probably 3-0, 3-1. But I've got a question. Will McIntyre's had a great career for the Razorbacks, just an unbelievable career for a young man from Bryant. Do you think right now he is just, his arm is just worn out from 3.5 great years?
I really don't think that, no. I think it's been a long season, and I think perhaps more than we realize, there is a period where you've got to recharge. You know, when you get to the regular season as you transfer into the postseason. And I do think that some of them are in that spot right now. You know, it's almost like purgatory. You know, you're right between one and the other for a little while. I don't think he's done. I don't think that about any of them. But I do think that they're going to have to hit a different level over the course of the next week or 10 days.
And I hope you know I didn't mean the question I asked in any disrespect.
Oh, I
to the young
understand
man.
that. I understand that.
Because I've been around it my whole life, and I just hate it when we let a great game like that just slip through our fingers. You know, we had our chances, but today's another day, right, Chuck?
Well, look, Tennessee and Kentucky both won. One of those two teams is probably, in fact, I would say very likely to win the overall championship. Both of them aren't going to lose twice. I doubt very seriously that happens. So if you want to dangle the carrot out there, you want to ring, well, you got to win one of the next 2 days. If you don't, then, you got to find a way to regroup. And I think they'll win one of these next 2 games. Wouldn't surprise me at all to see them win them both. But I do think right now they're playing really good teams. And, as we said earlier, that was the 10th shutout A&M threw last night. Most they've had in 48 years. Arkansas is not the only team with good pitchers.
And how many College World Series have they been to?
I don't know.
0. Heard that
I don't
reference.
know.
I mean, they're right there on the door. They're trying to do something that they've never done. I just come back to sometimes you lose and sometimes you get beat. Sometimes just the other team, you play well and the other team's just a little bit better. I think that's what happened last night. You didn't beat yourself necessarily. I know you walked in the winning run. I understand that, but you played a really good baseball game and you just came up a little short.
And, you could say the same thing after the Kentucky series, and Mississippi State could say the same thing after the series at Arkansas. That's what happens when you get to this point in the season. When you really look back at it and you, step back and take a little bit more objective look about what happened early in the season, I'm not taking anything away from what Arkansas did. But, LSU's not very good this year. Ole Miss, not very good this year. Alabama, just okay this year. Now, Mississippi State's hot right now. Auburn's not any good. So a lot of those teams Arkansas dispatched. And, they got to the end, and just so happened Kentucky, perhaps the best team in the SEC this year. You caught Mississippi State when they're playing their best baseball, looking like a team that with a break or two could go back to Omaha. And then you play Texas A&M, a team that spent a good bit of the year ranked number 1, just like you have. So I think the competition has gotten a lot better. You've played Omaha-type teams for 3 weekends in a row. And so I don't think that we can lose sight of that the fine line between winning and losing now is even thinner than it was 6-8 weeks ago.
Yeah, and that line will get even more bleak and harder to find as you get further down the track. And, even great teams, and all these teams you just listed, Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, someone is likely to not make it out of that group to Omaha because they run into a buzzsaw in the Super Regional.
Here's the thing you have to remember. There's not a single game Arkansas will play, even if they get all the way to the final game and play for the national championship. There's not a single game where they're going to play a better team with better pitching than the one they're playing this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It's the truth. There's not a team out there that they're going to play that on any given day is any better than Texas A&M. And there's not a team out there that on any given day has a better pitching staff than Texas A&M. So I think we need to understand that what we're watching right now in the regular season are College World Series type games. And not saying the teams they play along the way to get there aren't going to be as good, but I'm saying they're not going to play anybody that was any better than what Texas A&M was last night.
Well, and I thought Tabor brought up a really good point that, Evan Aschenbeck, their ace reliever, went 46 pitches, pitched 4 innings last night. A&M's going all in. That takes him probably out of the equation for tonight's game. Perhaps he pitches some on Sunday, but, if Arkansas can find a way to win one of these next 2, it softens the blow and you win the West. You win the next 2, and nobody remembers the 1-0 loss that you had on Thursday night. So, you remind us, and it's something I've borrowed as well. This is still a 42-win team. This is still a team that's a win away from winning 20 in the SEC. in most nearly every year. You win 20, you've won your division. That fair statement? I mean, historically speaking,
if you don't win, you're probably going to tie or finish a game back.
Yeah, I mean, if you win 20 of the 30 in the SEC, that's usually good enough to win the division, and that's right where you're at, and that's right where A&M's at. So I think your point about understand that, hey, it's not going to get any tougher than what you're playing this weekend, and you brought up several times this is the last weekend you play in front of a hostile crowd. I think this is good for this team, but it's probably mentally exhausting. So, keep in mind that you're at a very high level of competition this weekend.
There are about 5 teams out there from our league who are good enough to win the national championship. One of them, if they win it, is going to have to get hot. I mean, hotter than they are right now. There's no team out there. Kentucky, Tennessee, maybe. Tennessee's really playing well right now. But the other teams, if they're going to win it all, they're going to have to step up their level of play. Doesn't mean they haven't had great seasons, but they're going to have to play better than they are right now. Arkansas is one of those teams. You got to get on a run. And, we'll see if one of them can.
Well, the good news is we've talked about this a few times. Arkansas, Kentucky, Tennessee, and A&M are, we believe, locks for the top 8, right? So after Hoover, you won't see any of those teams till the College World Series. Won't surprise me at all if Arkansas gets matched up against another SEC team and it's regional versus theirs, and you welcome an SEC team in for a best of 3. But it's probably not going to be amongst the league's elite, and I pray to the baseball gods that in the selection committee that Georgia does not come in here somehow matched up. Now, you got to get through Hoover, and you got to win your regional for any of that to matter. But the point is, you probably will still have to play a very tough SEC team somewhere down the stretch, if not in Omaha before then, and in your own ballpark.
Well, there's a pretty good chance of that. No doubt about it. To me, and I'll say this again before we get there, the most pressure-packed week is the first weekend. It's the most pressure-packed week. Just as someone who's been around it as a fan now, people say, well, what are you most worried about? It's always the quote, what are you most worried about? What are you most concerned about?
Clay
Getting
loves
through
that
the
question.
first weekend.
Yeah.
Getting through the first weekend is always my answer, because you're going to play a hot team. Chances are you're going to play a team like TCU, or you're going to play a team like NC State, somebody that's getting hot. Somebody that's getting hot at the right time. And those teams can be tough to beat. I don't care where you're playing them.
Yeah, and Arkansas's been that team. Arkansas's went on the road in super regionals and won at Baylor, and Arkansas's went to Oklahoma State, and Arkansas's went to North Carolina a couple of years ago. So let's not act like Arkansas hasn't been the team, and I'm not saying we are, but let's not act like Arkansas hadn't been the team on the other side of that spoiled someone's party. So don't think it can't happen here, and we've seen it happen here with NC State a couple of years ago.
Hey, let me talk to you just for a second about McLarty Daniel. If you're a customer of McLarty Daniel, you already know what I'm about to tell you. Their customer experience is just different than everybody else's. You feel it when you walk in the door. You're going to be welcomed, probably offer you a cup of coffee, something to drink. They're going to get to know you a little bit. They're going to listen to you when you talk. And now you're going to get a great deal. And that's one of the things, if you shop for automobiles, there are lots of great deals out there. But what happens after that great deal? Again, one of the things that sets McLarty Daniel apart, Saturday service, that's a big deal to me. Complimentary rentals while your car's being serviced. All of these things are part of the McLarty Daniel difference. They've got 6 locations in Bentonville and Springdale. They've got a wide selection of automobiles, and you can check them out at McLartyDaniel.com.
Apparently, John Calipari is on the road this weekend, big AAU tournament. He's out watching kids. I wonder if Monday will come and we'll get maybe an announcement or something about Wagner, or we'll get some more insight on this roster, Chuck. I think that's something to watch also over the weekend.
Yeah, he kind of made it clear this week. He talked about all the guys that were coming with him and said we'd like to have one more. I think we know who he's talking about. So we'll see. I mean, it's still under construction, that's for sure. And he kind of doubled down this week on roster size and how many players he was going to carry. In terms of how many guys are going to be in uniform when they play, and so they may be closer to the end than we think, or there may be another bombshell or two out there. I guess we'll find out.
Sam Pittman was with us yesterday. He talked about the fundraising aspect of what he is doing right now, and I think John Calipari, and he's referenced this. He's a little bit in that mode too. He went to Dallas and watched the Thunder and the Mavericks the other night. Said he visited with Jerry Jones. I imagine NIL came up somewhere in that conversation they had over at the Star. I'm sure they're still part of what he's doing right now. That's trying to get NIL where he needs it to be.
Oh, he's trying to drum up support too, I'm sure. Calendars are different in the sports, and Cal right now has a lot of people to evaluate. And we focus on the immediate. What the roster is going to look like right now, as we know. Even though the portal dominates, you're still after high school kids, and you got to get after them early. And so he's looking at kids not just for this team, but next year's team and the team after that. And that's how you build a program. That's what he's done for years.
All right, that's a little bit of a basketball update for you, brought to you by the Lindbergh Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley for all of your real estate needs. Go to lindberghteam.com. What happens this weekend at the PGA? It's a little different conversation this morning after the news of Scottie Scheffler being detained at the gate and then arrested after a traffic
Outlaw Scottie Scheffler.
Yeah, not something we thought we'd say. You like Xander Schauffele, wire to wire? You said in your picks.
Well, I mean, he was my pick. I mean, he's got a 3-shot lead right now. The PGA is different than the other majors. Guys, the courses. I'm not saying they're easy, but they're easier. The scores generally are lower. Doesn't mean you can't choke. Doesn't mean a guy can't give it away. But, a guy in the PGA that cruises out to a big lead, sometimes those guys do go wire to wire. So, yeah, if I had to lay money on one of them, he'd probably be my pick. There have been 4 62s in the history of major championship golf. Xander Schauffele's got 2 of them. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, bet he can't do it again.
Well, I mean, again, forever. He's done it twice.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Yeah. Scottie Scheffler's 4 under par. That puts him 5 back. His tee time on the website's 9:08. There are players on the course, so he has a 9:08 tee time this morning at Valhalla. So we'll see how things.
Hey, does he get DQ'd if he's late?
I can't imagine they would change that rule. So I don't know.
I mean, what if he's still in the jail cell?
I don't
it's
know.
his tee time.
TGI Fridays.
Qualifying?
Yeah, I guess so. TGI Fridays happy hour today, 3 to 6, and then 9 to close. You can watch the PGA. You can hang out this evening, watch Arkansas baseball. They got TVs all around. Half-price drinks, $5 appetizers. Happy hour twice daily. They do it Monday through Friday. Again, 3 to 6 and 9 to close at TGI Fridays, 540 at Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Sam Pittman was with us yesterday. We'll relive some of those moments next on the Morning Rush.
Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Lindbergh Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to lindberghteam.com. Lindbergh Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to lindberghteam.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
As a roofer, spring means the start of my busy season, which means I've got to get organized. With help from Beacon, I can save time with Beacon Pro Plus and 24/7 access to live pricing, delivery tracking, order history, and more. Plus, this spring, I can earn $1,000 and the chance to win a $25,000 backyard renovation just by buying my Certainty shingles online with Beacon. No purchase necessary. Now that's what I call a spring cleanup. Visit BECN.com for official rules and to start earning entries.
Tommy Kraft here for the Fitzman. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from the Fitzman can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, the Fitzman can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and control access for your business. Call the Fitzman and ask about 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fitzman. He ain't afraid of no work.
This is the Morning Rush.
We got to show them we are the University of Arkansas.
It's a party in the parking lot. Camping World with locations in Van Buren and Poto is the place to be. Take the summer off from payments, 0 down and no payments for 90 days. There will be special pricing for this parking lot event on new and used RVs, starting as low as $13,999. You can save up to 70% on select retail items. There's something for everybody, so come on out for the food and fun at the party in the parking lot. Both Camping World locations in Van Buren and Poto, May 16th through the 18th, and in Van Buren on the 19th.
I'm Jim Cash III, owner of the Diamond Center. I invite you to come visit us for all your jewelry needs, including celebrations, purchases, repurposing, or jewelry repairs. The Diamond Center offers the largest selection of engagement rings in the area, along with complete custom design for all those special occasions. My family's legacy in jewelry goes back 4 generations. We strive for excellent customer service, integrity in our pricing, and jewelry of the very best quality and craftsmanship. This is all backed by our exclusive free lifetime warranty. Come see us at the Diamond Center, celebrating a legacy of love.
Can you explain the infield fly rule? Neither can I, but I can help you navigate a variety of legal issues, from divorce to personal injury to estate planning. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions, a new law firm offering affordable flat fees with payment plans available. You get an ace at the price of a minor leaguer. Now that sounds like a grand slam to me. Call Mock Legal Solutions for your free consultation. 479-769-1505. Real advice, reasonable price.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Dallas Street Dental. Refuse to compromise when it comes to replacing missing teeth. Dr. Bill Ligon at Dallas Street Dental can make your smile look, feel, and function almost exactly the way it did before you lost any teeth. In some cases, even better. Dental implants function like your natural teeth and make it possible for you to enjoy those juicy steaks this grilling season. Look younger and smile with confidence with dental implants from Dallas Street Dental. Schedule your free implant consultation today at 479-452-6600.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything. Service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forest Grin wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forest Grin has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forest Grin is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forest Grin is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forest Grin legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at GoForestGrin.com. That's GoForestGrin.com. Forest Grin Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Netflix is always the one I go back and forth on. I like having it when I want it, but let's be honest, there's a lot of really crummy movies on Netflix. And sometimes you spend more time looking for something to watch.
That is absolutely true, Chuck. I always spend more time looking. And I think the most important thing in the world now for TV shows is that little graphic they create. Because, I mean, you'll just scroll right past. Just scroll right past if their graphic is no good. So
I
agree with you on that.
I saw something on someone's social media that said there should be a category on Netflix that says shows that are easy to follow while you're constantly looking at your phone.
Exactly.
And that's but that's, of course, after you find a show to watch. All this, of course, sparked by the word yesterday that the NFL was going to have Christmas Day football on Netflix.
Yeah. Let's go to our friend Larry Rath, who is with Rath Auto Resources. He's getting ready for a big weekend. Larry, do you scroll around aimlessly searching for the next program to binge watch on Netflix?
Yes, I do. I was laughing when y'all were talking about that because, that's the hardest part is trying to find something you think you might want to watch and then holding your interest long enough to stay off your phone like what Chuck was saying. It's pitiful.
Yeah, and it's that little graphic they put on there, the little pic. If it's no good, I'm not watching. I mean, I don't even read the description.
No, that's money right there. That's what we should be. We should be designing those, for ultimate effect.
Yeah. So what's going on this weekend?
It's just going to be a great weekend at Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. I'm really excited about this Mitsubishi lineup, folks. If you haven't seen the Mitsubishi Outlander, come on in and check out that car. It's one of the best-looking cars you're going to see on the road, and it's a bargain. And we've got discounts and rebates up to $4,000 on those cars right now. We got interest rates as low as 0%. It's such a great time to come on in and check that out. And I think you're going to like it. The interior, state-of-the-art, absolutely beautiful. The technology's there. 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, and just an unbeatable car. It's a great size car. It's even got a little third-row seat in it just in case you need it. Just a terrific vehicle for the family. Come on in and check out the 24 Outlander at Rath Mitsubishi. Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, first ever trade-in acquisition event going on. We're paying the sales for any trade. So what a great offer that is, and it's been very well received. Lots of folks coming in taking advantage of that. Maybe some of your friends. Folks, we still got a big inventory. We've been working hard to keep up. Cars, trucks, SUVs, whatever you're looking for, we've got it. Let one of our friendly non-commissioned solution specialists help you find the ones just right for you. Let them worry about getting the price and payment where it fits your budget. We get that all done for you. You can expect great service after the sale in the Meineke Car Care Center. Last week, we hit a 4.9 star rating on Google, and that's not on a handful of reviews. That's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of reviews. You really can't fake that, folks. It really is a great way to take care of your car. It's a great way to buy a car. We call it Rolling with Rath, and you can too. This weekend will be a great time. Come out and check out the new Mitsubishis in Springdale. Get yourself a nicer, newer car at Rath Auto Resources, and or check out the Meineke Car Care Centers at either location. Then it's 4515 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith, the corner of Don Tyson and 71B in Springdale. Check us out online, rathauto.com.
All right, that's Rath Auto Resources, Fort Smith, and in Springdale. Larry, enjoy the weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good one. Folks, come and see us.
All right, let's stay on the phones here. Brian is in Ozark, wants to talk a little Razorback baseball. Brian, good morning.
Hey, man. How you doing, Tommy?
I'm good.
Hey, so I'm just wondering if you're just disappointed about that game as I was. I guess my better judgment, I stayed up and watched the whole thing. And, the pitcher from A&M, in my opinion, was just as good as Hagen Smith, and that's why it was 0-0 all those things. I think they're ranked 5th and 6th overall in the ML coming up draft, 5 and 6 or something like that. But, I think the most disappointing part of that game was you bring a fifth-year senior reliever that has been there 5 years now, come in and he pitched 4 balls and he looked like Stevie Wonder out there pitching. I think Dave Van Horn done with him for the weekend. What do you think? I'll just hang up and listen.
I don't think they're done with him for the weekend. I'm guessing you're talking about McIntyre. I think you've got to have him. He's been so good all year. When you think about what happened last night, you got to balance that with the fact that there have been about 20 other times he's come out there and everything's gone fine. Or he's wiggled out of a jam, or he's, giving you an extra inning. of solid work while, the bats came back and won the game. So, no, I don't think he's done for the weekend. In fact, I would suspect he'll pitch tonight. I would suspect he's back out there tonight.
I'll say if Will McIntyre doesn't pitch well and isn't a part of what you're doing down the stretch, you're probably not getting Omaha. You're going to have Will McIntyre.
I don't think there's any question.
I mean, he's been one of your MVPs this year. Yeah, I mean, he's a key part of that, particularly if Gage Wood moves into some kind of starting role. I mean, that's going to change up how you handle long relief.
Well, and you think about just tonight. I mean, I think McIntyre pitches tonight. Number one, because you want to get that guy right back up on the horse, so to speak.
He threw 5 pitches. I mean, 5.
Yeah, but secondly, that Wood's not going to pitch more than 3, max 4 innings. I mean, I think if you get 3 out of Gage Wood tonight as a starter, I think that's as much as you can hope for realistically. So that leaves 6 innings of work. McIntyre's going to be part of those 6 innings tonight. I feel pretty sure.
All right, so we'll be ready tonight. 7 o'clock. You can hear the game on most of these ESPN Arkansas stations. We'll have it on the Hit That Line Now app. If you haven't downloaded that, you need to get to the Apple App Store and get that downloaded, or the Google Play Store and download that app to your phone. Our podcasts are on there. The Give Me the Hogs Chuck podcast is on there as well, so you can get Chuck's latest thoughts on his podcast. So it's all available on the Hit That Line Now app. All right, we'll check in on the SEC scoreboard, and we'll wrap up the show for the week. We'll do that next here on the Morning Rush.
Hi, this is Mike Greenberg with ESPN Radio, and you're listening to the Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is the Morning Rush.
The nation is going to be talking about Arkansas.
The first thing people notice when they drive up to your home or walk in any room of your house is the color. And if you're looking for the perfect color and the perfect paint, you'll find it at the Paint Store in Van Buren. Hi, Tommy Kraft here. The Paint Store in Van Buren gives you hometown service from people who know what they're talking about. You don't have to chase them down to get help at the Paint Store. They're always there to help you get that perfect color and that perfect match for your project. If you're looking for the perfect paint color, it's at the Paint Store, 1414 Fayetteville Road in Van Buren.
It's 2024. Let's go see what's new at the Golf Nut. Peen G430 Max 10K driver. Peen's straightest and most forgiving driver. TaylorMade QI 10 Max woods and irons with 10K inertia, making it the most forgiving driver ever. And Cleveland Launcher XL2 woods and irons. Call Matt Brooks for a lesson, 646-4430. And start a new year with more confidence on the course. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith's #1 golf shop since 1994.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One has a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
The name Newmeyer means something in the River Valley. Rib Room and Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. But have you been to their new establishment, the Whippoorwill? Unbelievable Southern food right across the street from Papa's. Southern cooking at its finest, like burgers, chicken fried steak, Mimi's meatloaf, fried green tomatoes, and more. Go to whippoorwillrestaurant.com to check out their menu and daily specials. Newmeyer's Whippoorwill Restaurant, now a part of the Newmeyer family.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
There's nothing like Old Forte's Rodeo Week, May 27th through June the 1st. Heart-pounding action. Cowboys and cowgirls leaving it all on the dirt. Wrangler wants you at the Old Forte's Rodeo, looking like a champ. Spend $75 or more on Wrangler apparel and receive a free Old Forte's Rodeo ticket voucher. So plan on heading out to the Old Forte's Rodeo. But first, stop by Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith, and gear up. Now let's rodeo. Wrangler, long live Cowboys.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Except we've got SEC buyers. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. Trusted pool experts and your source for backyard fun. Locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and always online at burtonpools.com.
Well, it was a full slate of SEC games last night as all of the 7 series got underway on Thursday to prepare for a little earlier departure for Hoover, Alabama next week's SEC tournament. We were talking about LSU and Ole Miss. This might be a winner of the series gets into the NCAA field and the loser is out. I know Ole Miss has a really good RPI. Entering the weekend is at 24, but the record is 27-26 after last night's loss to LSU. LSU a much better regular season record at 34-20. Both are now 11-17 in SEC play. I don't see both LSU and Ole Miss getting in. Ole Miss did beat A&M 2 of 3 last week, but fall to LSU and Baton Rouge in game 1. I think LSU wins that series. Final last night, 5-1 rather. 5-1 last night. Ole Miss got to find a way to win the next 2, or their postseason hopes, despite their RPI, probably down the tubes. Georgia's been one of the hottest teams in baseball as of late. Ranked now in the top 10, one of the best players in the sport right now. They beat Florida last night, who's struggling to get themselves into the field and probably won't. They're now, Florida being now 26-26 on the year, 11-17 in league play. Georgia with a 9-4 win last night improves to 17-11 in SEC play. And they pick up their 39th regular season win last night. Tennessee's been hot. They're the team that scares me most out of the SEC to win the national championship. Number 1 ranked in the country, playing well the last 3 weeks. They beat South Carolina in Knoxville last night, 9-3. Kentucky beats Vanderbilt 10-5. Kentucky has proven themselves to be every bit as good as Build. 38-11 now in the year, 21-7. Tied with, or now a game ahead of Tennessee, rather, in that SEC East, and likely to be the team that wins the SEC overall. That series is in Lexington. Vanderbilt, I'll be interested to see what happens with them on selection Monday, I guess it is. 34-19 on the year, but 12-16 in SEC play. I don't think they're a lock. I know they're Vanderbilt, but they may not be a lock. Mississippi State and Missouri. Missouri's not even going to make the SEC tournament. They fall to Mississippi State and Starkville 4-3 last night. And Alabama's just really trended downward the last month or so. They were beaten by Auburn last night, another team that's not going to make the SEC tournament. 4-2 the final on the Plains last night. Of course, we've been spending most of our morning talking about the Razorbacks. They fell in 11 innings, 1-0 in a classic pitcher's duel. So that was a great game last night. Hogs come up short, and that's where things stand as far as the games last night. So the standings, I mentioned Kentucky. They have maintained a one-game edge in the East. They're 21-7. If they win one of their next two, they'll have at least a share of that locked up. Tennessee is 20-8, and they need to win their next two over South Carolina. Georgia's another team that, man, I would not want to face them ahead of Omaha. And they're a team that could easily be in Omaha. They're 17-11. They're not going to factor into the championship for the regular season, but I think Georgia's not done factoring into things in the postseason. That's kind of 1, 2, 3. South Carolina's in 4th, Vanderbilt 5th, and Florida 6th, Missouri 7th is how the East looks. We kind of know the situation in the West. The Hogs got to win one of the next two. They're 19-9 in the SEC West. A&M's a game back at 18-10, and A&M's got to win the next two to win the West. Arkansas's got to win one of the next two. That's the bottom line on where it's at, and their regular season records are about identical. 42-11 for the Hogs, 43-10 for A&M. Mississippi State, who the Arkansas beat a week ago, and best of three, won two of those in the weekend series. They're 16-12. Again, won't factor in to the Western Division Championship, but looking to be a team that likely will host a regional, I would suspect as well. Alabama's in 4th after their loss to Auburn. They're 12-16, just a game ahead of LSU. Now, that will be interesting. If Auburn wins another game and LSU wins their last two over Ole Miss, they would leapfrog and move themselves up in the division standings to 4th. LSU's not going to host. They're going to be in the field, and I think they're going to cause a problem for somebody. I think they're in. Ole Miss is the one teetering right now because their regular season record's just a game above 500. Their conference record's 6 games below 500 after the loss to LSU, and Auburn's not a factor for the conference tournament or the Western Division at all. It's 7-21. So that's kind of how the standings look, and that's your SEC update this morning. It is brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith. They've been celebrating all month long, 46 years in business. Big savings right now, and it's still time to swim this summer in your own in-ground pool. Burton's can get it designed and done for you before the kids go back to school. Savings right now of up to $12,000. You can get construction again starting this month, or this summer, rather. You can also snag savings on above-ground pools, $1,200 in savings there. And semi-in-ground pools might be the way to go, particularly if you have a challenging design or landscape or yard with a slope. Semi-in-ground pools, you can save money with up to $5,000. And everything is better when you got a hot tub in your own backyard or on your porch. They started just $39.99 during the anniversary sale. Burton Pools and Spas, Springdale and in Fort Smith, and always online at burtonpools.com. We're continuing to watch the Scottie Scheffler story. If you're just joining the program, there was a traffic accident near the gate at Valhalla where a shuttle bus struck a pedestrian. It unfortunately ended in a fatality. Scottie Scheffler was in the traffic that was backed up for miles. As you can understand, a traffic accident involving a fatality is going to take longer to get the traffic moving again. Scottie Scheffler was, as he was told, the players were still going to be allowed to enter the gate even though the gates were shut down. He went around on the median. He was instructed to stop, or at least that's the reports by the police at the gate. There was some miscommunication or something. Scheffler didn't stop. The police grabbed a hold of the car, banged on it. He stopped the car about 20 yards later, according to the reports from Jeff Darlington at ESPN. He was then taken out of the car, put in handcuffs, detained, and eventually taken to jail, booked on 4 charges, including reckless driving, including second-degree assault of a police officer, not following traffic commands of an officer. He has been released, and he is on the grounds, as I understand it now, and headed to the driving range for a second round, which had a 9:08 tee time. Colton, I got that about right? Is that pretty much where we're at this moment?
That's where we're at right now from what I've heard. the whole story from the beginning since it started this morning has just been absolutely wild. One turn after another.
Yeah.
We did not expect them to end up putting, so many charges on them after what the reports said. It seemed like it was all kind of going to blow over. That was our original mood earlier in the show. The reports came out that there were some charges filed against him. Then things got kind of hairy, but now he's on the course getting ready to get warmed up for a tee time. So I'll guess he'll get some questions about it after his round.
You
today.
think?
But for now, it looks
He may
like
not even talk to the media after the round today. So
I sure wouldn't. And it's good to remember this is Scottie Scheffler. This is not golf's bad boy. Not a guy known for this at all. He's pretty straight laced.
yeah, and I'm even seeing reports that some of the charges will be dropped. I think it's way too early. I don't believe any of that reporting. So not yet. It seems awfully quick that a prosecutor will be involved in the DA's office or however it's set up in the Commonwealth to go ahead and get rid of that. So. But he is on the range warming up right now. He tees off in 19 minutes, as we said, a 9:08 tee time. So a little distraction for your morning. I'll be interested to follow him throughout the day and just see how he's able to block that out. We talk about Rory McIlroy. He's filed for divorce, and that didn't seem to slow him down yesterday with a 5 under par first round. Scheffler's at 4 under par and well in the mix for this championship. So. I'll be interested to see how or if this affects his day. These guys are elite for a reason, and that's because they can block out and refocus in a way that none of us really understand. And I suspect he'll have a pretty solid round today. Hey, if you want to get some action on this weekend's PGA Championship, maybe you can go online right now and see how the odds have moved. Oaklawn Sports has a way for you to do that with the Oaklawn Sports betting app. You can sign up today and you qualify for a second chance bet up to $250. They've got everything from golf this weekend to baseball, both college and MLB, the NBA playoffs. They'll have plenty for football when that rolls back around, the Stanley Cup playoffs and hockey right now. They've got it covered with live betting and all the lines and everything you want before the game as well. I was mentioning that second chance bet. Sign up today, create your own account at Oaklawn Sports. Make your deposit, and they make that easy with debit and credit cards, PayPal, Apple Pay, Venmo, ACH, and on-site cash at Oaklawn. And make that deposit, then make a first bet of at least $10, and you're in. So if your first bet doesn't go the way you had it planned out and it loses, receive a bonus bet of equal value up to $250. So it's almost like a free bet for the first time out. All right, it's all brought to you by Oaklawn, Arkansas's best sports betting app. Bet with the brand you trust anywhere in Arkansas. Bet with Oaklawn Sports. All right, 7 p.m. tonight, Arkansas is going to go with Gage Wood, and still to be announced, TBA for Game 3. I'll be interested to see how the relief situation goes. Arkansas used, 7 pitchers? Yeah, 7 pitchers last night past Hagen Smith, or 6 past Hagen Smith, 7 total. But when you look at, Parker Coyle and Will McIntyre, who were the last 2 relievers in, only had 5 pitches each. Stone Hewlett, limited number of pitches as well, only faced 1 batter. So I don't think you what I would call taxed the bullpen last night. Gabe Gackel, I thought, was really good in 2 2/3, but he only had 38 pitches in the game against 10 batters. So, I don't think as you look at the box score, you can say, well, that's a lot of staff used up. But you really look at how they were used and how the length of their work. I don't think it's too concerning. So I think Chuck's onto it with Wood that, hey, one time through the order, we'll see how that goes. And then, someone like Will McIntyre being in there quickly wouldn't be surprising at all. 7 o'clock tonight. We'll have it here for you on the radio. And Phil will be live from College Station with halftime in just a couple of hours and set the scene from last night where he called the strikeout that made Hagen Smith the all-time program leader in career strikeouts. He tacked on a few more, had 14 for the night. He's 5 away, as I was reading this morning, 5 away from the single-season record that he will inevitably break as well. So I think when it all is said and done, he is going to hold every strikeout record for single game, single season, and career, and he's done it in 3 years. It's been pretty amazing, and I don't think we really appreciate the greatness we're watching right now. We've seen a lot of great arms and a lot of great pitchers over the years, but he is amongst the best in college baseball. And every time they put one of those graphics up during the telecast, comparing him to Skeens last year in the numbers and some of the historical numbers, you wonder how he's not projected higher in the draft. I know there's some great players, but I wonder, well, how in the world is he only projected 5th or 6th or something like that in the draft? He has got an incredible talent set, an incredible arm, and look forward to watching him play in the bigs very soon. All right, it's been a fun morning for Chuck Barrett, for Scott Tabor, who joined us earlier to talk some baseball, for Colton and Big C. We've had a great time this morning. Ty will be back on Monday, and we'll regather everyone up and do it all again then as well. Have yourself a great weekend. We'll talk to you Monday morning. Halftime starts at 11.
The Fenceman, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fenceman recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with the Fenceman. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call the Fenceman, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fenceman.